All right, so there we go. We can go live now. There it is. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see. We are live. It says, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Daily Dose of Pokemon podcast, which clearly isn't daily because we haven't done one in like 3 weeks. It's been a while, but we are back. I mean, it's been a while, right?
We skipped like
we
2
are
weeks.
back,
yeah,
guys.
We skipped like a week.
Hello.
Like, we did one 2 weeks ago, but not last week, I think.
Yeah, it's been a bit of time now, I think, since we did like one last time. But nonetheless, though, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We have returned. We've returned, good lads. We've returned. We're back again. And you guys know what that means? That means we're talking Pokemon. We're talking leaks. We're talking everything in between. Of course, since it is a podcast, I'm going to be joined by... Oh, holy shit, there's 4 of you. There's 4 people joining us today. So we're joined by none else than Cam Tendo.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Cam Tendo.
Our boy Light as well.
Yo, what's up, guys? Hello.
Our classic legend, the man, the myth, the legend, the man who conquered Twitter with his epic fucking art. It's your boy Subarashi.
What's up, everyone?
Suba gets a special intro because he's special. And then, of course, we have none else than the man who's been joining me for the last 3 streams, I would say, or 2 streams. I don't even know. The man who's the German from Deutschland. He's joining me once again. It's Toyoko, everybody.
Yeah, I felt art class, by the way, so...
Oh, it's all good, man. Well, dude, I'm glad to have you in here, man, because today we're going to be talking about all things Pokemon, all things everything. First, I'm going to say just hello to everybody in chat. Let me see who's joining us. Kyle, welcome to the stream. Jay, welcome to the stream. 16-ounce ribeye, welcome to the stream. Lucas Hand, welcome to the stream. Jesse G, welcome. Armin, welcome. Victoria Steele, welcome. Peyton Hall, welcome. John Dex, welcome. Shark King, welcome as well. Zero Voltage, how you doing, brother? Welcome back to stream, man. Neon, welcome to the stream as well. Ben Boatman, welcome to the stream. Guys, thank you all for joining us. Today, like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about all things Pokemon, all things Pokemon Presents, all things Pokemon Day. Basically, all that's going to be discussed today. We're not really going to have a format for this. We're just going to kind of go with it, wing it, have a good time, have a fun time, not really stressing much about it. Just have an entertainment, entertaining like hour or so of our time, and however long we decide to stay for, until my throat starts to hurt too much. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, so Tyler, welcome to the stream. Bleak Power, welcome. Newell Hall, welcome as well. Crane, welcome. Divine Hunter, welcome. Joshua Nix, welcome as well. Akihiro, welcome as well. And Burn, welcome to the stream. Either way, guys, so what is it that we're all excited for right now? I'm guessing it is the fact that we got the Pokemon announcement. Of course, everybody's seen it. I think everybody in the chat knows that we have, of course, the announcement of, the new Pokemon Presents on Pokemon Day, which is on the 27th. Ooh. So exactly 1 week from now. Pretty much all of us know that. Also, Armin, thank you so much for the 2 Bosnian marks, dude. Hello, Podcast Kings. Hey. Thank you so much, Armin. I appreciate that, man. But I think we've all seen the Pokemon Presents announcement. I think we've all, kind of seen all the tweets. And I think that's where I kind of want to start with, is let's just do predictions. I want to see the chat do predictions, and I want you guys to do predictions as well. Cam, actually, you know what? We're going to do it like this way. Toyoko, you joined the call first. Then it was Cam. Then it was Light, and Suba was last. So we're going to start with Toyoko because you came in first. So, Toyoko, I want to hear your prediction for what you think we'll actually see. And you can base it off of, a little bit your own, wishes, but also maybe kind of use, objective thought, as in, what has actually been said by, rumors, leakers, etc. Where does your mind go in terms of what we should expect?
You mean everything or just mainline games?
We're talking everything, just like everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
I'm actually expecting 20 minutes of unneeded info, like mobile games and Pokemon Unite and shit.
Yep.
And then
that's standard, though, isn't it?
Maybe, I really hope so, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon 2 remakes. My favorite games of all time.
Okay.
And then maybe at the most 1 minute, or maybe even just a little teaser trailer without much info behind it for the next games. Maybe a remake.
But what do you think?
Maybe a double remake. We don't know.
What do you think is going to be remakes? What do you actually think? Outside of how do you say? Outside of actually in the realm of possibility. Where do you land with what do you actually think will happen? Outside of wishful
thinking. I'm leaning more
thinking.
towards Generation 2. I'm leaning more towards it.
All right.
It's way too much. Went into it recently.
All right, that's fair. All right, well, I guess that's pretty much your prediction. You're expecting just a lot of repeat of the regular spin-off stuff, and then an announcement of a new game as well as spin-off remake.
Yes.
Right? Okay, yeah, fair enough. Cam, where does your mind go? What do you think we're actually going to see? Because I don't know, bro. I'm at this point, I've given up, dude.
I'm kind of like more or less the same. I'm expecting uh the usual like minutes of useless Pokemon information that we don't care about, like Unite.
Yep.
For the Unite fans that care about that, you know, you got that. But I don't really care about that. Then I'm expecting Go news because like we just had like the whole like Sinnoh event and stuff
Yeah,
happen.
that's true. Yeah.
Maybe Pokemon anime news because I think I'm not sure, but I think Horizons, the English dub for America, comes out on Pokemon Day. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it comes out this month. So I'm expecting them. Yeah, I think so. It came out in Europe and like in the UK, but it isn't officially like out here on Netflix yet for the US. But and then last but not least, I'm as much as like I want Unova because I'm like a Gen 5 like enthusiast. I am honestly split on whether I want a Gen 5 or Gen 2 remake. And if they do both, I don't know how it'll work. Like that's like the biggest mystery is can they even pull that off? Because you can't give us Johto without Kanto, and then adding Unova on top of that. That just seems like too much to give a person. Even if be it Ilka or like Game Freak or anything of that sort, it just seems weird. Unless it's some weird Paradox Unova game that we've heard like we've heard Ku like make fun of that, but we don't really know if that's a thing or not. And
That's
the main reason I like earlier you mentioned how you don't think that we might get a game. I think that we will for the sheer fact that like in terms of Nintendo Switch games coming out this year, we don't have like the only major games that we know that are coming out this year are for first party or like second party is Mario versus Donkey Kong, which just came out this past Friday, and the only two games that are left that we know about until tomorrow, which is going to only be like third party partner games, are Luigi's Mansion remake and Thousand Year Door remake, and I believe the Princess Peach game. So those like the only like three games we have left, and those are all coming out within the next 3 months of each other.
Yeah, true.
So for the later half of the year, we have nothing first party, and Pokemon is usually their like big system seller. And if the Switch 2 is coming out in 2025, like they said they got the latest 2025, they're gonna need Pokemon to sell whatever remaining Switches systems they have left before they can launch this new one.
That's fair.
So yeah, they like I feel like we're gonna get a new game. We like what it is, I don't know. Like I'm also expecting a spinoff, but like in terms of like a system seller game, I'm expecting the next mainline game because they need to get there because apparently Nintendo's shares have dropped this year so far. They're apparently they're the richest country in Japan, but this year their like sales numbers have dropped because they kind of don't have a floor plan like they usually do, and they usually reveal that in this like February direct. But since we're just getting a partner showcase, which could still be a bunch of like cool games, but in terms of first party games,
what you're saying right now is so right, because Jasmine in chat said like, especially for like next year, like because logically next year should be the start of Generation 10, right? Like logically speaking, which would be because that'll be the 29th anniversary of Pokemon, but it will be like that's logically when this generation should end and the next generation should begin, which is like, and also it would be a good way to kick off a new console. Would be insanely good to have a Pokemon title dropping on it like like not day one, but like dropping in the same year. That would be actually incredible.
Yes, it'll be a crazy launch year. Back in when the Switch first launched, we were still in Gen 7, and we got Ultra Sun and Moon for the Switch's launch year, which is for a whole different console. It would be absolutely insane
if they launch
like
with it.
If we get like Metroid, like this isn't a Nintendo Direct thing, but like if they were to launch like Metroid Prime 4, which is like the big game that everybody's waiting for, like the next big Mario game, possibly the next big Zelda game, which I doubt, but like the next big 3D Mario, the next big Metroid, and then to end off the year, the next generation of Pokemon, that is a absolute system seller. Like that will be like Nintendo's like one of their best years if you have a system seller be the next generation of Pokemon. So this year would logically be the year to end it off, and they could pull a BDSP Legend situation where we get like 2 games.
They could,
one, like we could get an Ilka game. I would prefer they not, unless they do so, like they go all out, like how they did with the One Piece game. But like,
Oh yeah,
we could get
Mm.
we could get a Ilka game, and we could get a Legends Kiram, or I'm like so like against a Let's Go game. Let's Go, like
But-
people say Let's Go Johto, but like
but
in terms of like art style and aesthetic, I could see
yeah.
a Let's Go Johto, but like Let's Go, your
No,
first Let's
no.
Go
I
was
don't
made
think-
to capitalize on
Yeah.
Go's hype.
Exactly. But also that's
Go
the thing.
isn't
The
it
Go
right
title,
now.
I think they even confirmed in an interview at some point that the idea, like the Go monocle, is like dead. Like they're not gonna reuse
Yes.
that. Like what I think, like I feel like people need to rephrase it or reword the concept of Let's Go, because like what Let's Go should be referred to is just an experimental title. Because that's all it
Yes.
is. It wasn't like a brand new series of games. That's the same way I see Legends Arceus, right? Legends Arceus isn't like isn't a new series of games. It was just a single test game they did. And I just highly doubt that that's gonna ever, like, I feel like these are just like test things they do. Because if there's anything we need to learn about Pokemon, is that they are very willing to try shit and then totally forget about it, like for the rest of eternity. You know what I mean? Like they are
Yeah.
very, very keen on doing that. They introduce features and then fucking nuke those features next gen. You know? So it's very common for them to do that kind of stuff. The most logical thing, again, for this year would be, I mean, I don't know, because you said like maybe they would do that double release thing, and we've been talking about that for the longest time now. But like the thing that gets me to feel like we might not get a new game this year is because when I actually like initially I thought maybe no new game this year, or maybe one game this year and then no new game next year, so that like, and not because it's the 30th anniversary, but just because like if you look at like the schedule of them releasing games, it was like the last time they took a break was a decade ago. You know what I mean? Like a decade or so. Like it's been over a
Yeah.
decade since they took an actual break here. Because the last time they took a break here was 2015. So that would perfectly be 10 years since the last break year leading up into next year, right? But beyond that, but if you go back another 10 years, that's when they also did a break year. So like it's like they could definitely do it. I think there's been maybe a year back in the day there was like a lot of skip years, sort of say. But like they could definitely take a year off next year and then just kind of like work out and make like a new gen, because like you said, Ultra Sun and Moon came out during the Switch's launch, so they didn't even have an actual Switch title until 2018. But now I'm pretty sure the infrastructure of a Nintendo Switch and whatever the next Switch console is, or whatever the next actual console is, I'm pretty sure the infrastructure and the way that the actual console works is going to be the same, right? Like I don't think the fundamental. It's like how do you say this? Like it's like going from the PS4 to the PS5. The only real difference is really graphical fidelity and power, right? In terms of the actual infrastructure of the console itself, it relatively stays the same. Versus if you go from a Wii to a Nintendo Switch. That's very different platforms, very different mechanics. Again, of course, I don't know what the Switch 2 is going to look like or how it's going to function. Maybe it's going to be a massive jump, or maybe it's not even going to be called a Switch. Maybe it's going to be like a whole new thing. Who knows? Because remember, we are talking about Nintendo, and they love to just try new shit out. Like they are so fond of trying weird new things out. Like they do it all the time. So there's a chance they could be doing that, right? But whatever the next console is, I highly doubt that it's going to be such a big leap where it'll be hard for a company like Game Freak, who, by the way, are very behind when it comes to programming and stuff. They're very, very slow. I highly doubt, though, that this time it's going to be such a big leap that it's going to be hard for them to be actually ready to kick out a new game. Plus, they also are now in the Nintendo offices. Like, Game Freak works in the Nintendo office, so they have access to all these things way ahead of time and are ready to, like, get cracking on it, right?
Another thing is that Typhlo Ash just commented on in the chat was that Ku mentioned at the start of the year to look forward to Game Freak's 2024 projects, which is something like when did
he say that? When did he say that? Do we have a tweet of that? Can
Yeah.
somebody link it to me?
I gotta find it, but like he
yeah.
said to look forward to Game Freak's projects.
But that's the thing,
Or
though.
Pokemon.
Game Freak's projects could also be non-Pokemon stuff. Remember,
Yeah, it
Game
doesn't
Freak-
have to be a core series game.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a It doesn't have to be a Pokemon game at all. It can be Project
That
Bloom.
too, yeah.
It could be like the action RPG game or action adventure game they're making. It could be Project Bloom. It could be what is it? Pandland? Pandland, I think it's like.
Land, yes.
Yeah, Pandland is another one, which is another
Little
project
Town
by Game Freak.
Hero.
No. Little Town Hero is a
No?
dead. It's dead. It's dead. That
It's
shit.
dead, yeah.
We don't talk about. We don't talk about Little
Right.
Town Hero. That shit. Little Town Hero dead long ago. Okay, buried, gone.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it. But no, it would be because Pandland is a trademark that's been filed by Game Freak, not by Nintendo, but by Game Freak. And then there is also a project called Project Bloom, which is confirmed from Game Freak to be a project they're working on, which is supposed to be an action-adventure game. So those two things are actually being made. Like, those two actually are projects being worked on outside of Pokemon, you know?
I'm expecting Bloom to get revealed tomorrow because something
me too.
that...
Me too. I'm expecting Project Bloom tomorrow, yeah.
The leaker that leaked the Nintendo Direct, he was posting a bunch of companies and was like, what do you consider to be a partner? And then he
included Game Freak, yep.
Yeah, he said, "Is this a partner?" to a lot of people, and like people are like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Yeah, this could be when they reveal Project Bloom with the full name and everything."
Yeah, but the question is, Project Bloom is going to be for Switch 1 or Switch 2? Because
we don't know. I'm guessing Project.
but-
I'm guessing. Listen, I'm guessing like this. I think Project Bloom is going to be for Switch 2 because that is not what we're going to see tomorrow. I think what we're going to see tomorrow is Pandland because Pandland. And nobody has a fucking clue what Pandland is. That's such an out of the box thing that they just trademarked, and it's so weird that the trademark shows up now. But I guess it's because it's about to be announced. Otherwise, we wouldn't be seeing the trademark this early. Into a game's development. I think Pandland and Project Bloom, either they're the same thing or they're two separate things, but I think that's what we're seeing tomorrow. Pandland, whatever it is, that's what we're going to see tomorrow announced during the presents thingy. Also, Darkness of Chaotic Waters, thank you so much for becoming a member, dude. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being a channel member. I really appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Welcome to the member squad. Thank you so much. Moving on, though, I want to hear Light. I want to hear your predictions because we've gone through Toyoko, we've gone through Cam. I want to hear what you think. Light.
Well, I mean, apart from all the stuff, Cafe Remake, Pokemon Unite, Masters, I just hoping that they gave us this year is the year of the dragon. I hope to bring Shiny Koraidon and Shiny Miraidon as mystery gift.
Oh yeah, they can do that.
Call it with original trainers Sada and Turo. I just hoping also a new tier, right, to 7 stars. We are missing Electric type, Ground type, Steel type, and Dark type, and they are not appearing because they repeated some types. I'm looking forward also this type of rights. But well, I mean, I'm very divided about the new games that it's going to pop up. I'm really sure that it's going to be 2 games. Okay, 2 new.
You really are sure it's going to be 2.
games.
You're really feeling 2.
Yes.
But why?
Yes,
what
yes,
makes
yes.
you think? What pushes you towards it being 2 games and not 1?
Because I mean, for Generation 8, we have the Core Series games. We got, I mean, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and Legends Arceus. So for Generation 9, I have the feeling that at last we are going to have minimum 2 games. So I think that these games are going to be those ones. I don't know if they are going to be.
Well, it doesn't have to be 2. It doesn't have to be 2 games. You know what I mean? Like if we let me put it on the screen. Also, here's the tweet. Cam sent me the tweets. Give me a second. I'm going to show this to you guys.
That's one of the tweets. I'm trying to find that one.
Here we go. We're going to put this tweet on the screen. So this is a tweet that was made by Ridliku, and I remember covering this one, right? It's the Ilka's working on a new game, then the duck just does ... and then Croc out of the picture. We gotta be joking. And then yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. This is the weird one where we didn't know what he meant by it. But then you said there's another tweet where he mentioned that Game Freak's projects, but that would again, if he's talking about Game Freak, that could be non-Pokemon related again. You know what I mean? Definitely could be non-Pokemon related. So again, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure to be honest. Let's see. But yeah, I don't know. So you still think it's gonna be 2 games this year, Light? You
Yes,
really
yes,
think it's gonna be
yes.
2?
Yes, there are going to be 2 games. I mean, I don't know if probably the marketing plan of Pokemon is going to be 2 different games, but with the same meaning, you know. Probably sometimes they have to think about that. Probably the people is going to buy the both games instead of one. Okay,
But
probably
that's the thing. But like, I just highly, as much as I would want 2 games, I highly doubt though that they would do, because I think I think Legends Arceus and BDSP releasing one after each other and us having 2 games in such a short span of time is not the norm. It's like it's not like the standard. It's more so something that's kind of happened. You know what I mean? Because they were trying stuff out and they were trying like this new fucking concept and trying like open world and stuff, and they decided to make it like a game out of it too. I highly doubt that they would stick to that being an actual thing they keep doing, you know, more and more of. Sure, it made them a lot of money, and sure, it was a good like strategy for a bit because it just sold a lot. You know, what I mean, it did really well. But the last time they released 2 Pokemon games that close to each other and that many games in a row, the last time they did that was like around Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire Red, Leaf Green. That was the last time they did something that crazy. Because every other generation, usually there is a grand total of 3 games, right? You have the first gen games, right? So you have like, let's say, let's just go like, you know, with a random generations. Generation, I don't know, 2. Actually, no, Generation 3. I think that's where remakes start happening. So starting from Generation 3, right? You had Ruby Sapphire, so that's count them as one game, right? That's one game. That's a new generation. And then within that new generation, you had Ruby Sapphire. Then you had Emerald and Fire Red Leaf Green. So that's 2 more games that were released because Fire Red Leaf Green, it's the same game. It's whatever, you know. Then in Gen 4. In Gen 4, you had the exact same thing. You had Diamond Pearl, and then you had Platinum, similar to exactly like Emerald, and then you had, of course, Hardcore. Exactly. Yeah. But then in Black and White, you only had Black and White and Black and White 2. You didn't actually have a remake or anything that year, because that's when the whole like every other year we get remakes thing started. And same thing goes for for Gen 6. In Gen 6, we only had X and Y. No Pokemon Z, and then just remakes instead, and then same thing for I think we had and then it became different with Gen 7 because then we had Sun and Moon, then Ultra Sun and Moon, and then followed by after Ultra Sun and Moon we had like Let's Go Pikachu Eevee, which was super random by the way because that wasn't a regular remake. People expected like people expected Gen 4 remakes then, and that didn't happen. Then in Generation 8 we actually got the remakes, right? Then we got Sword and Shield, and then so on and so forth. So there is no guarantee, right? There's just because they did it once with Gen 8 does not mean they're going to do it again in Gen 9. They could. 100% they could. But I think this is the thing. I feel like we need to expect the unexpected, okay? Because every time... This is like... Because here's the thing. We've been able to predict the new generations and the DLC releases properly every single time. But the thing we keep fucking up on, and the parts where we always mess up, is that second set of games in the new generation. That's what we always get wrong, right? Like, we always get that wrong, because we didn't know we all knew Diamond and Pearl remakes were going to happen. We're like, cool, Diamond and Pearl remakes. Then they fucking hit us with BDSP and Legends Arceus. That nobody predicted that. Nobody had a fucking clue that was what they were planning. Like, none of us could have predicted that's what we're going to get 2 games. Like, nobody thought that was going to happen, and then it did. No. And I feel like we have to have that kind of same mentality about the current situation to expect anything to be possible. You know, like anything could happen is the way that I view it. It's like anything's possible. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. What do you guys think?
No, I think you're right.
So yeah, but go on, Light. Where were you at? Sorry for interrupting.
No problem. So what I was saying, I feel something about the people is divided between Unova and Johto.
Yes,
and probably we will have some type of fusion mix, or probably I have the feeling, man, probably it's going to be something new, and people is going to say, wow, I need this game, okay, because in Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet we are missing like 70 Pokemon from Unova, and if we check with Johto and Kanto, we are missing also like 70 Pokemon. I mean, they can do their a big deal if they bring us something really new that people say, okay, I need this game and I need to buy it, because probably if we are going to receive just a remake, people is going to see that, okay? Because also people hate Ilka, people hate TV characters, and probably we are not going to see this again. But I mean, people is divided. We are just hearing Johto and Unova and Tesselia, sorry, but probably I feel something like this, plus also I'm wearing that probably a reveal of the trailer of the new movie of Pokemon Horizons, and probably is going to be revealed the new mythical Pokemon or something like that. And also
Oh,
the
see,
port.
That one
the-
I can
it-
agree with you. I do think we might see a new, like a movie announcement / mythical. That's something I definitely could. I think is highly possible because actually that was what was on the screen a second ago. I can go back to it here, guys, to show you because this is a post that you actually made this, which is if you look at the logo for the hidden treasure of Area Zero. There's this logo that was in it on the zero part, which had like a bunch of different icons. And the blue one was obviously for Terrapagos. The green one was for Ogerpon. The purplish, pinkish one was for Pecharunt. And then there was a yellow one, but there was no connection to that one. And then you pointed out that the exact same star that's right there is actually the similar star that we see on Oranguru. And if we go back to like that original post with the big gorilla, I mean, hey yo, it's similar enough to me, so I agree with you. Like but it's so weird. Why would they have an Oranguru thing? Like it's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, this is probably. I mean, this is super straight, but could be the possibility. This is some type of carving the Yancy relationship. I mean, but Oranguru.
Oh, you mean like that? Oh, okay,
yes,
okay.
yes. I mean, Oranguru. It's a Pokemon. Why not? It's can some type of evolution. It's called cognitive evolution. Okay, that goes from a Pokemon to a human. I mean, why not? Why not? Probably a Pokemon can finally be a human because we are sapiens.
That would be weird though, because haven't they already kind of tried that with like stuff like Zorua and like didn't they do like something like that as well with like Latias? Yeah. Back in with the movies and stuff for a while back. I think they did that
so
as well.
I have this type of feeling, and also if you see the fan of Oranguru and you see the tail mask, it has also 6 leaves.
Oh yeah, you're right.
The same tail mask, I mean, it's too much coincidence, but it cannot be. But I mean, it could be possible. But it's the down part, not the upper part. The down part.
Yeah, like the sides, like kind of the sides.
And also the man that goes with Ogerpon has this mask since the beginning.
That's true.
And then and never we saw the face. And also the villagers, they say that they were afraid from Ogerpon and the man, but they never say that the man was a really human. Well,
it is possible. It is possible though. It is possible that they this could have been an idea they had, or they were going to do something like this, but then they scrapped it. That's another possibility. Like keep in mind, there's always a chance that they worked on something and then they just scrapped that idea. Like that happens all the time. I mean, just look at Generation 2 and the amount of scrapped Pokemon that existed back then. So it's always a possibility. Fanwarp, welcome to stream. But okay, so I guess finally, Suba. I want to hear your thoughts because we haven't asked you yet. But where does your mind go in terms of predictions and like I said with everybody else as well. Like you can use your own personal thoughts and opinions as well. Yeah. But also mix in, I guess, like your thoughts on like stuff you've heard, stuff you've seen. Like what's kind of molded your opinion on it. Like is there any background to your thoughts, or is it more so just like what you kind of want yourself? But yeah, go on.
Well, yeah. So the first off is the direct that's happening tomorrow. Of course, is maybe obviously it's going to be involving with Game Freak, a new game IP with Game Freak definitely because when they make a new game, right, it often flops. I've probably said this before. I hope it doesn't. I absolutely hope it doesn't. Another company, hopefully they'll probably show us like things that we've already seen like before, like because I know we had on Twitter that we thought was going to be a direct. They just popped off a load of like games that already come out for some reason.
That was weird.
That was weird, And so, this is which is really bizarre because they could just put that into the direct, which is another So, and with the presents, and something else with the direct is that Cam, you'll probably like this, is that hopefully it'll probably involve something with level 5.
Yes. Okay.
Hopefully, yeah. And because we had the news last year, this is something a bit off topic, but
it's fine.
They actually showed us like a cat thing. You probably heard about that, Cam?
Yeah.
The cat.
They're like it was like Yokai Watch. Yeah, the Yokai Watch 5 teaser.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll see something like that. And with the Pokemon Presents, we'll probably see, like Cam said, with Pokemon Unite. 100% we'll see something with Pokemon Unite.
Oh, yeah.
Probably something to do with Rayquaza or something like that, you know, like we've heard. And for the games I want to see with Pokemon, it's a bit confusing because it's been between, like, is it going to be a Unova game or is it going to be a Johto game? I know for a fact that the shout out to Elite Robo for having this concept of having like a fusion game with Gen 2 and Gen 5, which is a brilliant idea. It won't. I don't think it will happen though. I don't think it will happen. I'll put it up here.
I mean,
So,
I do
something like this-
think it's weird though, because like Ku would even, again, I don't think that's what we will get, but you never know. Again,
yeah, we
like,
never know.
I think this is like one of those things where like I kind of agree with you, Light, where you're saying like, you know, like, oh, they did weird shit with like, you know, BDSP and Legends. And like, they can definitely do something crazy again, right? They can definitely do some weird shit and be like, hey guys, so you know Legends? That was a weird game. How about we fucking fuse 2 regions together?
Woo, yeah, that'll be a dream come
like,
true. I would love that.
literally anything is possible at the end of the day. Like they could do whatever the fuck they want. Like that's like, you know, like that's the end all be all truth is that they can, like, at the end of the day, it's their franchise and they can do whatever the fuck they want with it, you know?
Yes, I mean also now it's open the idea that there are different timelines, and this is true. I mean, this is a fact that there are different timelines. Why not probably in a timeline there are like some type of region that it's fused or something like that? I don't know. I mean, you know that it's Hisui exists. Why not? It will be another type of region that is fused that has a new name. Everything is possible, you know. I mean.
But like that's the thing. I don't like. I feel like I agree with what a spy pilled said in the chat, which is Pokemon would lose 10+ million sales by combining Johto and Unova. I don't think. Okay, so I don't know if in what way you're saying that, a spy. Like I don't know. Like I don't know how you're in what way you're viewing it. The way I'm gonna view your comment as is not like in the negative, like it's a shit ID, but rather it would actually be a really dumb idea to waste 2 whole regions for the sake of 1 game. Like that doesn't feel like something game free. That feels so so.
They think it's a waste.
Exactly, it feels like it's such a un-game freak thing to do, and like unlogical thing to do from a business perspective. As cool as it might be,
it's
like
cool.
I would love that idea, and I think it would be sick. The only way I see it working is if it actually isn't Johto or Unova at all. It's something different, but it kind of uses elements from both. That's the only kind of like think of the Blueberry Academy and how we have like you know the area that's kind of like based on where you find that Haxorus, like the shiny Haxorus from like Black and White 2 or whatever.
Yeah,
that whole
The
zone.
nature preserve.
The nature preserve, exactly.
Preserve.
So like how they kind of made that little, like the tiny little hill or whatever that actually looked exactly like the nature preserve. Kind of view this view that as to what they could do here, like something like that, where basically it isn't a 1-to-1, but it's kind of like areas are clearly inspired by it or based on it or similar to it. Kind of how Legends is, you know, it's still Sinnoh, but not really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's still Sinnoh, but all the roads that exist and all the cities that exist, like none of it's there. It's still barren and stuff. I kind of view it in that sense, but not a Legends game or anything like that. I expect it to be something totally out of the blue, totally different, and who knows? But at the same time, there is a big part of me that just still thinks it's going to be a basic Johto game. Like a big part of me just thinks it's going to be that, you know?
Yeah, that's why I shifted with you, Raffle, because about 2 weeks ago we were talking about this before.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're going to get Unova game, get Unova remakes, ooh. And then you were discussing what we're actually going to get Johto. I was like, ooh, okay. Raffle's made a good point here. I was going to shift to that. And then now Rillaku is like showing us these plushies. Oh, damn, it's a Unova game after all, you know? It's really confusing. Like, which one is it? I don't know.
You know, something. I couldn't find the exact tweet of him saying look forward to 2024 projects, but I did find a tweet of somebody asking Ku like, "Hey Ku, when can we expect to see riddles for the next game?" And Ku replied, "It's too early for that now. And you know what? After the announcement that's due in February, the official news will be silent until the second half of this year, anyways." And that's the span we'll play riddles.
Yeah. So that's the tweet. Yeah, that's the tweet I've got on the screen for anybody that's curious. So basically, it's just him saying that like once they do announce the games, we're not going to really see information until like what, summer? Like late,
Pretty much.
late, like
Okay.
But that's standard, isn't that just standard? Aren't we used to this
No.
now? Like I'm so used to it.
It's been the standard since Gen 8. Because remember back in Gen 7, we were getting like trailers like every 2 weeks. It was insane.
But that was great.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be,
Like,
dude.
when they revealed every new when Gen 7 came out, we wouldn't get all the Pokemon at once. We have like a new Pokemon released every week.
Yeah, but I don't know why they stopped doing that. Like that, I liked that.
That was cool. Yeah,
that was fun. Like that was actually because then you could see what you were what you were paying for. Like you could actually see like, oh, this is what I'm going to be actually.
And it makes you more excited. So, oh, I'm excited to see the new Pokemon.
I actually know there's a lot of people who were against that because they didn't want to see the entire game before it came out.
They're fucking pussies, man. They're fucking pussies. That's
they
all
weren't going to reveal the story.
Pussies can't handle the fuck can't handle a little bit of Pokemon spoilers. Who cares? Come on.
No, I think the main reason was by the time the game was released, there were only like I think 7 or 8 Pokemon that weren't revealed. But and like the decks that had like 80 something mons, like we were missing like I think the last 3 Ultra Bees, the Crozma, Crabnominable, and like Salazzle, and I think a few more. But like they were revealing like a new mon like every. I remember like they revealed like 3 mons and like 3 separate trailers in like the span of 1 week, and it like Tortinator, Drampa, and I think Bruxish and Komala. I think it was weird, but they were revealing like mons like every. I loved it. I loved it.
Me too.
But like they were revealing like new mons like every week or so, and it was kind of weird because by the time the game came out, there were like a select few mons. Like I was expecting the decks to be like
massive.
I don't know. At this point, I was like, yo, they're revealing a lot of stuff. This deck must be huge. And then by the time they revealed the game, the decks was like, we saw like 70% of the decks.
But like I'm thinking like this, right? Like if there was like let's say 65 new Pokemon in a new generation, right? There are a grand total of 52 weeks in a year. You're not going to use that whole time. It's like Pokemon gets revealed, let's say a game in February, you're already past a few months, like a few weeks. You already got like 6 weeks down from that 52 by the time it gets revealed. You know what I mean? So like you're working with like, you're working with like 46 weeks left. And then you got 46 weeks. Take a few away from December, as well as like mid-November. So take away another like maybe 5 weeks in there. So you got 41 weeks between the announcement and the release. In that time, if you did like one reveal every 2 weeks or once a month, even once a month, okay? Once a freaking month. That would be a grand total of, so like, 41 weeks, divide that by like, let's say 4 weeks every time. That'd be a grand total of 10 Pokemon revealed. Like if they did it, like literally just like revealed, let's say 15 Pokemon, they could reveal like 2 or 1 to 2 every month. They could easily do that. And that would be enough. That would literally be enough. Because like the problem is that they leave us hanging and we know fucking nothing, okay?
Exactly.
We have no idea what to expect. We have zero knowledge,
I would rather have that than like not knowing at all. Imagine we won't know the starters until release day. They'll never show the starters. I'll be absolutely annoyed.
No, true, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like they like, again, I don't want them to reveal everything. Of course, like, something has to be hidden, right? I wouldn't be surprised by a certain few Pokemon. Like, for example, we didn't know about, like, like, the like, Chi-Yu, like, and all those, like, the Ruinous, like, 4 or whatever. Yeah, like, we didn't know about those ahead of time. Like, we had an idea that something, like, we knew kind of, like, some stuff about, like, riddles about them, but we didn't actually see any official shit about them until the release. That's the problem. We're going to have to wait until fucking Ridley Koo gives us information because we're going to get fuck all from Pokemon. Like, they're not going to tell us shit, man. And, like, that's where I'm kind of, like, stuck at, where I'm, like, all I can think to myself is, bloody hell, man. Like, just give us, like, 1 or 2 Pokemon reveals every month. That's more than enough to keep people busy. And, like, literally just do small trailers once a month. Like, it's not like there's a 2-year waiting span, so that like, oh, if we wait 2 years, we're going to reveal everything if we do every month. No, it's like, pick out 10 to 15 Pokemon. If it's a brand new generation, of course, pick out 10 to 15 Pokemon, reveal those little by little, show off different places, like give us reveals of like, I don't know, let's say if it, like hypothetically, let's say it is a Gold and Silver remake, right? And let's say there's a grand total of 15 new Pokemon. And when I say 15 new Pokemon, I'm talking about, new forms or whatever the fuck. Because, like, when they do remakes, they always do special
evolutions,
forms. Exactly.
Baby forms, yeah.
Here's the thing. Out of those 15, reveal 5. You know how you can do that? Reveal those 5 every fucking month. 1 per month, 1 per every, like, month and a half. Let's say like that. Every month and a half, you reveal one out of those 5 that you chose. That's enough. That's literally enough. And then you know what you do?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, cool. The first place people are going to start in anyways, that's going to be the starting town. Let's show them like previews of the starting town and just a kind of out of order story shit happening to hint at stuff. Like, oh, a battle against Team Rocket. Oh, this happening. And oh, like, you know, just small shit, but every once in a month or so, you know what I mean? Like, it's you know, like, that's all I need. And yes, Blaines, I did reply to you on Twitter while live on stream. I am wild like that. I do shit out of order, man. What's up, man? Welcome to stream, by the way, dude.
Oh, Blaines.
Just random yeah, man. I just, dude. Hey, I multitask. Okay, I'm a man of many talents. Not really, but you know.
Blinds in next podcast, please. Blinds in next podcast.
We'd love to have you on if you want to join us in chat, man. Would be sick to have you on. But because I don't know if you're even available right now, if you want to hop on call, because we're just vibing. But what do you call it? Where was he at? Right. So like at the end of the day, they could easily do so much revealing and stuff. I really hope that he's wrong about this, but he's been right about pretty much everything else. So I highly doubt that he's going to be incorrect about this point. Like we're probably going to get like, let's be real, we're going to get shafted and get no news.
Yes.
But yeah.
But also, when Ku's wrong, he'll admit to it. Like, for example, when I was scrolling through Twitter, I saw him admitting that he was wrong about the Pokemon being shiny locked, not being shiny locked during the DLC. Yeah, he was like he joked about it. He was like, "Oh, Game Freak." He was like, "We were ready, but Game Freak wasn't apparently." But yeah, he'll own up to stuff like that. But
why did they do that? Why did they shine lock everything?
I
don't know what it is. Is it to distribute it for mystery gifts? But that's stupid as well. I don't get it. Hoping for Gen 2, to be honest. It's the only other game from my childhood. Same here, man. I want Generation 2 as well. Like, I know people want Black and White, but I personally would prefer Gen 2 games. And I think they make more sense like right now to get than actually Black and White. Like, I think logically, Gen 2 is the logical thing to remake next because it's been so long. It's been a longer distance between the last, you know, Gen 2 game than the last Gen 5 game. There's been a longer distance of time that's passed.
Yeah.
But
I'm more open hands. I wouldn't mind either one, you know.
No, I'm fine with either, but I would prefer Gen 2 just because like it's a much easier, more
GOAT games. Yeah.
It's easier to like it's an more easily consumed game and it's more straightforward and you know, it's easier to consume, easier to go with, easier to roll with. I'm cool with that. Like I want that. That would be way more preferable to me. But again, who fucking knows? There is a wild theory that I've heard, which is like they could do another DLC. Which I highly doubt because I feel like Petrarunt was a natural conclusion, right? Like I'm assuming you all agree. Like Petrarunt was a natural conclusion to the story.
Not a DLC, but just probably a mystery gift. Just a mystery
gift. Mystery gift. I wouldn't be surprised with. Yeah. But like people have been saying like like still people have the copium for Kalos. Like I've still seen people saying have the copium for Kalos.
Come on, Z. Come on, please.
If we get Gen 5 like this year, heck, I feel like it would be crazy if they give us both Gen 2 and 5. Like that might not happen, but like they do both of that just so when Gen 10 comes around, people are like, okay, they have no choice but to give us Kalos next gen. Because right now, the big debate is it Gen 2 or is it Gen 5? And of course, it would make more sense for them to space out Gen 2 and 5. So when say Gen 11 or 12 comes around, then we'll be like, okay, it's Gen 6. Like we have to get a Gen 6 game. It's plenty to think.
And it better be Pokemon Z. All right.
Yes, I say this like every podcast, but like it's funny to think that we're closer to Gen 6 remakes than we are like Gen 4 or like Gen 3. Like
that is wild, isn't it? That's so wild. Oh shit, slug my balls, dude. I love slug my balls. With the $2 donation saying Gen 2 or Gen 5, that's a win-win for me, dude. At the end of the day, I think it's a win-win no matter what. I don't mind. I would love to see both because I think Gen 5 does deserve a remake. It is it's a generation that was panned and hated, but I think it did a lot of cool shit. It did a lot of interesting stuff. What? It is a good generation. Deserves a remake. Gen 2, on the other hand, it's been so long, man. We need to fucking revisit to that region because we haven't been there forever, and they can fix a lot of the shit that they fucked up in the original Gold and Silver, but they kind of already fixed that in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, anyways. But my point is just that I feel like every other gen besides Gen 5 and Gen 2 have now shown up in a 3D environment. The only two missing are those two. That's it. Everything else exists in 3D. Or as like Ruby Sapphire, Kanto, freaking everything else. except Gen 2 and Gen 5. Also, Blaine says they might have shiny locked the Legends because they couldn't program it right. They didn't program the IVs correctly. Huge mistake on those. Actually, now that you mention that, that is actually an accurate point. I do think that Game Freak is a highly incompetent company when it comes to game development, and this is not me trying to shit. This is not me trying to shit on them. They are very. This is not trying to shit on them as in like just being a dickhead and being like they're not talented. There are talented people at Game Freak. There are talented people in every games company. The problem is that Game Freak runs Game Freak kind of has this issue, and this is based on a video I watched, as well as the guy did insane research, a really good video. Look it up on YouTube, guys. It is a Game Freak employees gave their opinions on like, you know, they gave like reviews of the company, right? So this is people who actually worked at Game Freak. This is like Japanese employees, some foreigners, but like this is people who genuinely work there. Programmers, artists, stuff like that, right? People who work there, because they have a massive, like, I don't know if you guys notice it, but Game Freak does these posts all the time on Twitter. Like, hey, we're doing new round of hiring all the time. Because people leave that company like 24/7. People come in and out of Game Freak. Why? Because the company is really far behind. When you join there, you don't have time to learn anything. Anything that you learn has to be on the spot, and you have to kind of just roll with the punches because of the actual output. I think one of the reviews stated it as like, there's too much to do and not enough time to teach new people. So if you're a senior developer, if you're somebody who's been there for a while, you mostly like, you don't have time to teach the new people anything, and there's no time for them to like get adjusted. Instead, they get burnt out, they fucking leave the company and go to the next game development company to work at, because the speed at which shit gets done is too fast, which is why, I don't know if you guys know this, they outsource most of their coding. Most of the code for Pokemon games isn't done by Game Freak. Like, it's not actually done by them. The code is done by totally other companies, like outsourced to like other, like, you know, third-party companies, or companies like, you know, that are based in like, you know, other locations like Malaysia, you know, stuff like that. Like, they send it out to like other places to do it for them. They don't do it themselves a lot of it, because they just don't have enough fucking time. Like, there's not enough time. There's not enough time. Even if they hired more people, there's not enough people to teach those people how to actually work on what they're supposed to work. Like, it's really weird. It's really odd, though. They're messing up things they got right in the last gen. That's true. But, like, I don't know what it is. Like,
I think I know.
Yeah, go on. What's up?
It's weird to think about this, because this game is open world, and when they added the legendaries, all like first off, we were all like, we can all agree that it was cool that like the legendaries were like static locations and around the world.
Yes,
versus,
that was
like,
cool. That was cool. Gave me a headache, but yes, it was
so
cool.
yeah. So I think that the reason why they struggled to not make these shiny lock is because they were static encounters, but these were like the first static encounters where we can visibly see them. And notice it didn't start a cutscene, or it started a cutscene, but everything was seamless still in terms of transition. You know how in like even in Sword and Shield,
I know what you mean. Like, they're actually in the world, and as opposed to like for example, the Ruinous 4 with those guys, it's kind of like a little bit different, because they are behind like that wall, right? And then they appear through a cutscene. Yeah. Whereas these guys are actually physically in the world. But sorry, that's such an easy, like, realistically, that should not be a hard thing for them to program. Like I'm telling you, it's literally a lack of competence.
You can say that the legendaries are part of the story, really, and they want to make it as perfect as possible and not actually have them as shinies, because it's part of the story.
And like, another thing was that like with most Pokemon in the world, you can just like enter a picnic and then close it, and then like that your Pokemon will like be shiny. It has a chance of being shiny. I think you can quote me on this, but like if you entered a picnic around the legendaries, they would still stay there. Like they wouldn't despawn for some reason. So they should have coded them to at least despawn. Like they would obviously still stay there because they're static encounters. But like they should have coded them to like despawn and then come back, and like they have a chance of being shiny, versus them like just they coded them all in to just be like permanent statics that'll stay there until you click on them, and then it'll put like a cutscene that's still seamless into the battle. Which it, like, in my opinion, they should have done it like the other way around. They could have even done it like the Ruinous, where like I think, and this could be wrong, but weren't the Ruinous like shiny? They weren't shiny locked until like the day one patch, and then they were shiny locked.
I don't remember that. Like, anybody able to correct that? Like to confirm that, because I'm not sure about that.
Like I think it was incorrect, but also I think that somebody was able to remove the shiny lock on them. through hacking, and you were able to shiny hunt them if you hacked your Switch to make them unshiny lock. But like that's still a thing like that. And plus another thing was that the static Crowdon and Maridon, the evil one that you could catch, like I'm pretty sure that if you were able to hack the game, you were able to remove the shiny lock on those, and you could still make that work. So that it's not something that they can it's something they can clearly do, but they have the reasons as to why they didn't do it. And again, mystery gift
could be. I'm telling you, it literally could be the people that were involved with it in that moment, whoever made the DLC. It literally could just be those people not knowing how to do it. Like it genuinely could be the case. Like Blaine says, we could actually see Koraidon and Maridon in the overworld, but their IVs were correct, for example. So it is, that could be the case. And Toyoko, what did you find?
About the alleged shiny locks, they have always been shiny locked. Like these rumors that they were shiny locked with the day one patch were false and proven to be false by Kappa. Like the guys of PKX, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, okay. So I guess what I'm curious about then is like, because I think somebody said in the chat like it's thanks to Iwata's coding that Kanto it could fit into Gold and Silver. Do remember?
Yeah, it was.
Game Freak wasn't a game development company in the beginning. They were a magazine. They were a newspaper, more or less. They were never a game development company to start. They kind of had to just become one once, like they started, like once, what's his name? Once, geez, I forget him. Satoshi Tajiri. Once, like, Tajiri. Once Satoshi Tajiri created Pokemon, they kind of had to learn on the spot how to fucking make a video game. And the problem is that in the beginning, that was fine because they basically gave a percentage of Pokemon away to Nintendo. They always had Nintendo, kind of backing them up, and they're on the, holding, basically like Nintendo was always there with like a hand on their shoulder being like, I got you, don't worry. But then at some point, like, you gotta understand, like, they have to like kind of, do shit without relying on anybody else. I think what fucked Pokemon, where Pokemon went totally downhill, was when they had to move from 2D to 3D. And it's not. And I think what happened there is that they had nobody with knowledge of how to do it. I think they were
too comfortable. Yeah,
exactly.
They were too comfortable with the grid pixelated things with DS and the Game Boy. They were too used to it.
Because you know what's funny? If you look at those actual employee reviews, do you guys know who actually loved working there? The only people that loved working at Game Freak were artists.
The artists.
Yep. People who like draw art and concept art and stuff like that, and people who made like the 3D models and stuff, those people loved working there. Like they had only positive, like so many of them had just positive things to say. But anybody who did coding or programming fucking hated it. Like their reviews were always like horrible. They like anybody who had to do any programming work or anything like that, like literally like their whole complaining was, it's just nobody knows what they're doing. It's just it's not enough people that know what they're doing. It's a mess trying to make everything work because nobody has time. It's too much work for like too much work for too little amount of people. They're trying to do all this shit, so they outsource it, and then you got to work with somebody else's code and try to match that to whatever the fuck you got going on. You know what I mean? Because remember, like when you have another person working on code, you got to then take that and somehow make that fit into your thing, which will probably take even more time because then you have to like almost like retroactively change things anyways to match with whatever you're actually trying to make. So it's like a shit show trying to make it all work. Let me see. Game Freak employees. Game Freak employees. I want to see if I can find the actual video about this here. So this is from Guram Red. It's actually a really solid video. I'm going to put it on the screen here for a second just to show what I'm talking about. But like you can kind of see some of those reviews that he like, shared of people like what they were actually thinking about, working there. Let's see. I want to find you some of the reviews that people had. So let's see. We're going to skip over to one of the reviews. So here is, this is like, this is one of the featured like reviews or whatever. Like it's one of the like the top reviews that's being shown. So this person was in their late 20s, male, full-time employee, programmer, system software related development, right? So again, I can't see the whole post here, but it says good point. So good actual feel, like stuff that he thought was positive about the company. And I've seen this post before. I think what he said was that like the computers that they have at the company are good, and the fact that they can work from home. So like the positive about Game Freak was that like you could work from home. Basically, that was like the positive thing. However, here is the negatives. The number of employees is still small compared to the scale of the titles we're mainly developing. The development schedule is short. It was difficult workplace overall to secure private time. After that, if you get a position, you won't be paid overtime due to the discretionary labor system. In most cases, you work from 11 to late at night, and I felt that the more I got promoted, the more difficult it was to ensure a work-life balance. For time being, we have been instructed to adhere to overtime hours set by the government, but during that business period, etc. Basically, they're overworked. They have too much shit to do. There's too many people, and like there's a lot of these reviews where people just fuck off. People just leave. People just stop working there because it's just too much. Like there's not enough. He gave Game Freak a 2 out of 5 stars as an employee there, by the way. Also, why am I getting an ad block picture right now out of nowhere? But like, again, that's one of the people. Here you can see another one. This is a literal 1-star review. So here's what they said. The skills of external partner companies and outsourcing companies are high, and there is something to learn. So this is a good point, right? So basically, the skills of external partner companies, so other companies, not Game Freak itself, things to be worried about and points that should be improved. Since full-time employees with long careers do not acquire new skills, most of these skills are handled by outsiders. As a result, there is a large difference in the amount of work between regular employees and outsiders. Basically, employees have a stance of leaving most of the miscellaneous tasks that they don't want to do, such as how to use the software and how in-game specifications work. They give that to others, so it's a gap for someone who's been doing everything by themselves until now. It was intense. At the very least, I want you to acquire at least a minimum of information gathering ability. So basically, the problem is this. The people who work there, especially anybody who's been working there for a longer time, any of the full-time people, right? They don't actually learn anything new. They don't acquire any new skills. They don't know how to work with the programs they're working with to the level that they should. So instead, they give it to other people, and then they realize, oh, well, these other people are doing such a good job. I'm not going to bother learning that because they can already do it. So what's the point? But there is a point, because if you don't know how to work with the shit that's being given to you by someone else that you're trying to implement into your products, there's going to be a discrepancy. There's going to be a problem there. Something is going to go fucking wrong. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just, like, assume you can take other code and other people's work and just implement it and it's going to instantly be, like, fully functioning. There's going to be problems. If you don't know how your programs work, then you're fucked. You know, you are screwed. So, again, this is just one of the few reviews that, you know, they can look at here. Again, there's so many more that you know, were posted here. Here's like another one, right? This is a you know, skill improvement, career development, and educational system. So good point. The good points. Full-time designers involved in development are highly skilled, so working with them will be a great experience. So again, full-time designers. Remember, designers. That's probably people who do art. However, it is a different story with the experience and skills acquired in the projects are not successful transferred to the next project and stakeholders, and whether it will lead to the future with their own company. Depending on the leader's ability, the subordinate contract employees may have been protected, and then here's the negatives. It seems that full-time employees are also undergoing various trainings in addition to their busy workload. Regardless of whether you are a contract employee or an outsourced one, if you meet a very good leader, they will confirm whether you can participate. Basically, the education system is in place only for full-time employees. So, again, this person looks like they might have worked like as an outsourced one, like contracted. Exactly, so he was contracted to work with them. And he was just doing CG design work. So he was an outsider, right? He wasn't actually working at the company itself. But even this guy has complaints about them, which is it's just not good. My point is just that they are struggling, okay? They are struggling as a company to keep up with the demands of their freaking, like, you know, not with demands, but rather they're struggling with their own freaking you know, workers, like, because they don't have enough people that are skilled at the things they're supposed to do. But yeah, and like you see Louis in the chat saying, looking at someone else's code sucks, especially if the code has horrible white spacing. Well, yeah, basically when somebody else writes code, if you don't know that person one-to-one, and if you don't all write in the exact same way, it is gonna be pain to understand somebody else's code, especially if it's like spaghetti code and it's just a mess. But again, I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, in you guys in the call right now, what do you all think about this? Because I don't know. I just wanted to share this because I thought it was such an interesting thing. Like, you know, that this is what actual employees think about this thing. So I don't know. What do you think?
It's a lot, bro. That's a lot from I knew Game Freak as a company was kind of already messy because again, yearly releases, multiple teams, Team A, Team B, the Gears Project, all that stuff. I know they're constantly getting new employees. It kind of shows with the game's coding itself, right? Like the games are so different, and like we say it's art style. It is art style, but also there are tons of other things going into it. You can feel like, for example, you can feel the actual difference between games in terms of like feel, coding, characters. It could be engine, it could be a lot of other things, but you can feel that there's like a different team at play. And I don't mean that from like, Team A worked on main series or like new generations, and Team B worked on like the game after the DLC or so. You can definitely tell that like there's a huge difference in who made what, and it shows. And with this, like them getting new employees, and and this is just like Japan's work culture in general. Like everybody's overworked. It's more than just Game Freak. Like this is like an actual like issue in Japan. Like everybody's constantly working day in and day out, and like everybody's constantly tired, and it sucks. It really does suck. I don't like, and as a human, they need a break. Like they need a break, and it's time to like actually train and work on this code. Like what Solaire of Astoria said, you can definitely see it in Legends, and Legends, like it's just a lot to take in. So hearing employees actually complain about the company, which I kind of figured Game Freak would be like the keep this under wraps type of thing, but like hearing employees come out and say like, oh yeah, I had a decent time because I was just drawing designs. I was like making characters, or I was making a Pokemon that got scrapped, or hey, my design made it into the game. I made like Lechonk or something. That's crazy. It's understandable, but like I feel like even artists got to be stressed out, like, hey, especially like the environmental artists and stuff, like, hey, I need you to make a town, town. Or
that's actually, I didn't go through the full video. I'd highly recommend to watch that video, like definitely when you guys can watch it yourself, because there's actually a whole section where the people that do work with art, who work with like CG or stuff like that, like any 3D work or any artwork, right? All those people, they actually made a really good point. They said that actually working at Game Freak for them was amazing because the actual upper management would take their IDs and listen to them. Like they'd actually take suggestions from even lower level employees. They would actually like take their IDs for new designs and new concepts and stuff like that. They would actually not ignore suggestions, and they would be willing to take on new concepts. And they basically said like you had the freedom to kind of like test new things out and try new things out. In that sense, they had like a level of freedom. But the problem is, again, and based on like all the programmer stuff, it's literally the programming side of it. It's the coding. It's like the building blocks of like, because basically what you have with video games is basically like the code is everything. Like the code of the game, the programming side of the game is 99% of the game, okay? The last percent is the graphics. The graphics are the last percentage that make it all come together. But if you don't program anything, then you got nothing to work with. There is no game without programming. You can't like make something out of no building blocks. It's like trying to it's basically like building a house and not building the foundations first of all, right? Like, cool, you can decorate it with like furniture and everything inside. Like that's basically what like the graphics are. They're the furniture and shit. You furniture out everything like in the house once it's done. But without like a roof, a foundation, sturdy a sturdy building, there is no house. There is no need for furniture if you have no roof over your head. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing with this game, is that like they just don't have enough people that have been able to acquire the skills needed to make some of this stuff, right? Because remember, with like the Switch, they had to learn new stuff, and I think what happened there was a discrepancy. They did not have enough people that understood how to make a 3D game, so when they had to make X and Y, that came out of the fucking blue for them. They had to like learn something totally new, and you know what happened then?
They had nothing.
They've been playing and they've been playing a catch-up game. Like basically, what Game Freak has is a non-stop catch up, and like they can never catch up because of the like they're permanently behind. Like they're kind of like
they're too used to it. Yeah,
you know
they're too used to.
You know what it is? They're basically like the carrot on the stick. You know what I mean? Like the carrot is just out of reach eternally. Like they can never reach it because it's always gonna be like a level of distance away from them, but they can never reach it no matter how hard they try. Like they're always chasing that carrot, but they can never reach it because they put that carrot there to begin with. But they put themselves in that position by pumping these things out so fast, which is, I understand from a business perspective, they have to shit stuff out. You know what I mean? And
I
also,
bet they like
Shift Desire brought up something I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, go on.
Pokemon, and like this isn't just Pokemon. This is like any monster catching, taming, RPG in general. Games like these are like way harder to code than any other game because you have to sit there, you have to make animations, moves, data, stats, data for all these monsters, their evolutions, different forms like that.
And they're younger than Pokemon as well, so it's easier for them to develop.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like Pokemon is a and I think I agree with that with Shift Desire. Like you said, you know, bro, you don't know how hard it is to code in 1,000 different species, moves, animations, and make an environment good. Pokemon is a coding nightmare. It is. But that's the problem, is that I think the smartest thing that they should do, and I know this is a horrible thing to say, and this is like a sin to mention this, but they should literally just take a note out of the Call of Duty workbook, okay? Call of Duty has 3 different studios: Sledgehammer Games, Infinity Ward, and Activision Treyarch. Those 3 companies, I think there's another one that sometimes does shit. Those 3 companies have a 3-year cycle, right? They have a 3-year cycle at which they release stuff. So while 1 year, Infinity Ward releases a game, the next year, Sledgehammer releases one. In the meantime, while Sledgehammer and Activision Treyarch release a game, the one that was released the year prior, you know, that studio will start working on their next game. So they have 3 years on them to develop their next product. You know what I mean? Like, they'll always have, like, you know, if they had that, where, like, they should just give away certain parts of Pokemon. Like, if they want to do the DLC, give the DLC to another company. Give the DLC to, like, another studio. Give the DLC, or, like, you know what, internally, separate yourself. I mean, I'm pretty sure they have, like, you know, I'm pretty sure they have separate teams,
they have
right?
Like 3, they have like 3 teams. They have the team with all the older people that work on the next main. This is like the main reason why people are like, man, why isn't Scarlet and Violet like Legends? It's because Scarlet and Violet was made before Legends was, and Legends was made by B Team, who most likely is working on the game we're gonna like see next Tuesday. A Team is always working on the next generation. So, for all we know, Gen 10 might have Legends catching system because it was made after Legends was produced, you know?
Yeah.
So, Team C is the one that works on the DLC. It's a smaller team that works on the DLC, which is probably why the DLC had like so many issues, like non-shiny, like shiny lock legendaries and things like that, because that team is like probably like 5 or 6 people versus like a team of like 30 or 40 that's working on like the next 2 games to like keep us going a whole generation.
See, here's the thing though, because I saw Abby Danger said in the chat, judging how awful Call of Duty has been, that's a terrible idea. Except here's the thing, Call of Duty's been doing that forever. Like, Call of Duty's been doing that for the longest time. Guess what? Call of Duty Black Ops 2 came out in that exact way. Fantastic game. Modern Warfare 1, 2, and I will even include 3 back then, not the remake shit that we got right now, was also good. Sure, in the last few years, it's gotten really shitty. I would say around, I even liked Call of Duty Ghosts, but around that era is when things started going downhill.
Yeah.
Again.
After Ghost for me.
Yeah, same for me, dude. But here's the thing. No, like, I'm not talking about like, oh, take that Call of Duty format, but rather what I'm trying to say is what Pokemon needs to do, what Game Freak needs to do is, if they want to release a new gen Pokemon game every 3 years, like they've been doing for the longest time now, because that's probably what they're going to keep doing. That's how Pokemon's formula has stayed consistent for the last 20 plus years, okay? It hasn't changed. That stayed the same. 3 year per generation, then they move on to the next fucking thing. Here's the thing. If they want to keep that going, but make the best possible games, they need that 3-year development cycle no matter what. And maybe even longer. Best way to do that is outsource everything else or give everything else to other studios. You know what I mean? Like, give everything else to the studios, give everything else to like other groups. Like, give it to Ilka, give it to Genius Sonority, give it to fucking Hall Laboratories. It doesn't matter. Give it to other studios. Give it to like fucking Monolith, okay? Give away Pokemon to other studios. I think the problem has been that because Game Freak owns a large percentage of the Pokemon brand, they have been unwilling to actually give Pokemon to anyone else. At least anything mainline related. I think they've been too unwilling, and like it's been too much of like, it's our baby and we're not going to give it away. Like, because that would give too much power to like Nintendo or someone else. I think they've been too unwilling to do it because of that. I think that's where like an issue has been, is that they've been too like proud. It's been too much pride to be willing to give it away to anyone else. I think that's where the issue has laid. Also, what do you call it? Like, I just think the smartest thing would be give away all the remakes. Don't let Game Freak make any more remakes. Give it to other studios and let them go wild with it. Okay, give them like a set like outline of like, you got to make sure it's still a remake. Use these other games that we've made as examples for what to do, and don't do the following. And that's it, you know, and let them go fucking wild with it. Because I'm pretty sure if you did that with other studios, give it to them, give them like some time frame to get like the hang of it, boom, we're Gucci. We'll have proper shit releasing. We'll have proper Pokemon games. We'll have games every year. And then Game Freak can still make all their money. Pokemon can still make all its money. But also, we can get all the stuff we really want. You know what I mean? Also, let me check something, guys. By the way, what do you guys think about it? Like, what are you guys' thoughts if you were to give away to other studios? Like, what do you guys think? Cam, Toyoko, Light?
I've been saying that for at least 5 years now. Like, just look at the goddamn data leak of Scarlet and Violet. This is easily fixable, and they still haven't fixed it.
That's true.
And that just screams we need more employees.
Yep.
Well, Game Freak is a company with like, how many employees do they have right now? 170 or something?
I believe so. Yeah, it's increased a lot since like
somewhere around there. Yeah. So look at fucking Activision. How many employees do these guys have? Like not the entire thing, but just like one team of them. How many people are there? That's more than Game Freak has in total.
Oh yeah,
and that's a lot.
Well,
no, they need to outsource it or to actually expand the company. For
it would make the most sense if they would make the most sense if they just gave it to someone else. Like it's the most logical direction to go in. Like at least that's what I think. I don't know. But yeah. Also, by the way, HDV, what's up, man? Welcome to stream, dude.
Oh, hi. How you doing, guys? How we doing?
What's up?
Hello.
Yeah,
So,
what's
ladies and gentlemen,
whole squad in here. Love it.
Yes, sir. Joining us is going to be HDV. You were I think you were stuck in traffic, right? So you weren't able to come in.
Man.
But yeah, dude, at least you're here now, dude. I'd love to know, because we've been talking for the past, I want to say, hour and 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
We've been talking about predictions. I went into a whole rant about, I don't know if you know this, about like Game Freak employees who actually gave their own reviews of the company. And we've been kind of talking about like the whole, like, maybe they should give away Pokemon, like not the whole franchise, but give away like all the remakes and stuff to other companies. And we kind of been talking about that whole thing right now. So I guess like before we get back into that, I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on what do you think is going to be happening on Pokemon Day, because we have had a mess today with information. It's been a total shit show in terms of like
Is
what
it
to
like
expect.
just main series or like the whole thing?
Everything. Go for it. Because like that's the thing. We're all like, you know, kind of lost on what they could do. Either they could, you know, like if you have any thoughts on spin-offs, do you want any spin-offs? Do you have any, like, have you seen any rumors that you think would make sense with the spin-offs? Because I know you and me cover these rumors every single day, but there's so many that it starts fucking getting confusing in the head after a while as to what is what. But like, where do you go with your thoughts as in like, oh, I think this is going to happen on Presents like this day? Like, where does your brain go?
I mean, we're going to get all the normal stuff. We're going to get all the mobile stuff. We're going to get
Obviously.
Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Masters, all that stuff. Well, Pokemon Sleep now as well, actually.
That's true.
I think they'll talk about Pokemon Concierge because that's just been announced for like the second season.
Oh yeah, like not season 2, but it's like new episodes, I think.
Yeah, new episodes. Yeah. So that's going to get that's probably going to get put into it. Again, Riddler Who spoke about that mythical, so we might get a movie announced because obviously on Pokemon Day they're lighting up the Eiffel Tower. What do we call it in New York? They're lighting all that up,
that's
Empire
true.
State Building. So there's like the Pokemon Go event for that as well with the
Empire State Building.
Not the Empire State Building. No, the Empire State in New York City. They're lighting it up, aren't they, for the Pokemon?
They're putting like Pokemon colors onto it, right? Like I think they tweeted that out.
That's like the Pokemon anime. And they're doing like a Pokemon Go Captain Pikachu event as well. So they'll probably talk about that, but again, they might be talking like about a movie and stuff, and then we'll get like hopefully that mythical that Riddler Who was talking about. So they'll go into all of that, And then I think they're going to do 2 games this year, whether that's 2 main series or like a main series and a spin-off or something, because now the Nintendo Switch 2 has been like pushed back. Nintendo's got like nothing for like the whole year. Like after like these first 6 months, like there's Mario and Donkey Kong, there's like Princess Peach,
I told you guys,
and then a couple other things.
Cam said the exact same thing.
there's nothing for like the end of like for Nintendo for the end of the year, and obviously Pokemon usually comes out in November.
Yeah, no, hardly any like Donkey Kong news at all. Anything?
No, like they got literally nothing until like that's it. We have like the Peach game. The Donkey Kong game, is that already out? I think that's already out.
It came out Friday.
Yeah. So like I can't really think of much else there really is for them to actually release. Like most shit is like, done for. We haven't actually, and I guess the partner showcase might show some new stuff, whatever it's going to be tomorrow.
Well, I think that's all they're relying on. They're literally relying on the partner showcase, and then Pokemon will probably bring out a game in November, and then they're just gonna hope that that's gonna like smash it. Otherwise, like they've got nothing else to show, because all the big boys that they're gonna like be saving, like the new Mario game and everything, like that's all going to be for the Switch 2, which again like might be released like next March or something. But from now until then, they've not really got anything, so they're kind of just hoping that all of these like partner games and then Pokemon's just going to like keep them going until then. So I think that there's going to need to be like, I don't think 1 Pokemon game is going to be enough, so I think they'll do like maybe a main series and a spin-off, or 2 main series, because obviously it's like 25th anniversary of Johto this year. It's the 15th anniversary of Unova next year.
Yeah.
So they could do like a Johto game this year, whether that be like Let's Go Johto or whatever. Yeah. And then like for the 15th anniversary of Black and White next year, they bring out the game in like January, just like they did with Legends Arceus.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that would just kind of, and then it just kind of all works out well. And then obviously the Switch 2 gets announced in like March or something. And then that's what I think is going to happen, because it all kind of like makes sense for them to do that, because Nintendo's got like nothing like because it's not a main, like it's not a first party direct, it's just like a
it's a partner showcase. But that's the thing. So. Game Freak's going to most likely show up during that partner showcase, based on what Puro, whatever his name is, Puro. I don't know if you follow his account. It's like the Switch leaker, or like the Nintendo leaker, because he's been pointing towards like Game Freak showing up, because there is 2 things from Game Freak. There is Pandland, which I'm pretty sure you're aware of as well, which was a trademark. Like it's a new game from Game Freak. Like it was a Game Freak trademark, like not a Nintendo trademark, but a full-on Game Freak trademark for a new title, something called Pandland, which is most likely going to be announced tomorrow from Game Freak. So I think what he was referring to was probably something from them in that sense. So that's going to be something from Game Freak, and that's going to be something for Nintendo, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be relatively small as opposed to like a announcement of a Mario game or something like that, which probably isn't going to happen, because I feel like the only thing I could imagine is maybe like, because it's partner games, right? Could it be like something from like other studios like HAL or Genius Sonority, like shit along that way? You know what I mean? Like, that's a direction they could go in as well, right?
Yeah. I was going to say, we know that Atlas is revealing a new game because it got leaked like the morning before the direct got announced.
Okay.
So, and like also the whole Xbox thing that happened last week, we could get games from that coming to the Switch from the partner showcase.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
I thought they postponed that.
Did they postpone that, or did that happen? I don't remember. Did that happen? Did we actually see the did we actually see the bloody, what is it called?
The Xbox showcase.
The Xbox showcase. Yeah. Did it actually happen? I don't remember if it happened.
It wasn't really a showcase. It was more of them going, "Hey, we're gonna move some exclusives over to other platforms." And
so it's just
they will keep doing stuff. You know, they will keep doing consoles also. So.
Yeah, and they were mostly like asked for what games are coming to which system, find out at a later date, and now we have the whole partner showcase happening. So, and then we what was it, like one of the games that I know that's like most notable that people are talking about is Hi-Fi Rush that's coming.
Oh yeah,
to the Switch.
I've heard rumors of that. I played it on the Xbox actually. Solid game.
Yeah,
that would make sense. That would fit on the Switch as well. But
so most likely. Like that game feels like it was made for the Switch. Like it feels like a game that like feels like it will like pop off on the Switch. So games like that, I feel like that's gonna be like one of the big ones we're gonna see tomorrow. not to dive off the whole Pokemon thing, but like so far, yeah, like in terms of games we can expect to see, I feel like that and like another like the Shin Megami Tensei re-release, the 5th game is getting like re-released for the Switch, with like more story and DLC. They revealed that, or like it literally got leaked like yesterday morning, and then like a few hours later we got the direct mini partner showcase announcement. Like those are 2 games I know most likely we'll see tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Just quickly on a sideline, Determined Hero, thank you for the $2, saying, bro, they need to make a Pokemon MMO. I mean, I think most of us would love that. I think like a Pokemon MMO would be the sickest thing ever, but highly doubt that's ever gonna happen. Yeah. Also, Ash Stegmeister says, "Holy shit, Matt is here." Yes. And also Determined says, "HTV, just know I'm still hunting that 6 IV Ditto." Fair. No context. No context for that one, but all right. But yeah, so I guess because we've already spoken about it like a lot. But what do you? Okay, so I don't know if I brought this up during the stream yet, but I think it's worthwhile to bring up. What do we all think about the number 8 from Riddle the Coup? Like, what do we think about it? Because I know, Matt, you hit me up in DMs. You were like, "Hey, yo, what the fuck is he talking about?" Because I have I have no idea. I know some people have said, like, I know Jan on Twitter said like it might be a countdown of sorts.
But it's like 7 days away. It's not 8. So
but it doesn't. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. And like I saw some people saying maybe like he fucked up and he tweeted it a little too late because he tweeted it around 12:35 in the morning for himself, right? Like that was
he would have like replied to that and be like, "Oop, I did it too late." Because like if he messes up again,
true, yeah,
because he does delete tweets from time to time. But like if he messed up, he would have like replied under it, "Up, I tweeted this too early or too late" or something like that.
There's something it's not like about that though, because there's 3 dots in the front of it though. There's 3 dots. Why would he add the 3 dots and just put the 8 on? You know.
I mean, Waffle and
I was thinking it was terrible
earlier,
copy.
like in the stream we had this morning.
Yeah.
We don't actually think it's actually related to an 8.
No. Actually, so I actually did like thanks to who was it again? It was one of
Connie.
Connie. So Connie, one of our viewers, she basically said like, hey, but then again, you can technically do that with like a digital number 8. You can technically make any number out of it, right? You can make a 5 out of it. You can make a 7 out of it. You can make a 1 out of it. It doesn't really matter. But the one that kind of made the most sense was a 2 and a 5, right? Like if you split the 8 that's there, if you split that into literally like split it in half, it perfectly turns into a 2 and a 5. The only thing I can think of when a 2 and 5 is Gen 2 and Gen 5. But again, the problem is, what are those two little dots in the top left? Like what
might be indicating 2 games or 2 regions in 1 game or whatever.
But that's the thing. I don't know. I don't get it. Like I just do not have any idea.
I wasn't around for that stream because I was asleep.
Oh, good. No, but like that's the thing. I don't know. I mean, Matt, where like I guess where do you think it is? Because I don't know. I already spent this morning fucking losing my shit over that tweet. So like I have no idea. I have no context. Is it a countdown? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think it's a countdown. I think it makes no sense to be a countdown because it's literally a week away today. I'm hoping it's just like part of a puzzle and he's just gonna like drop something else tomorrow or something because it's just
that's what I'm assuming as well.
Like it's so random.
I actually just realized this. Has he changed anything about has he actually changed anything about his background, like his what do you call it, his description? Because sometimes he changes his like name and his Twitter bio, but I guess he hasn't. It just literally says scholar study deep network and reinforcement learning. Huh? Also a Pokemon fan. I like how that's like secondary to like the other shit. No, but like again, I haven't seen any. Besides my very weird tweet about it, I haven't seen anybody like that's actually figured it out. I think most people are just trying to like somehow kind of convolute it into something or try to turn it into something. Like I haven't actually seen anybody come up with a genuine, actual like logic in what he's trying to say there. Like I haven't seen anybody like figure it out yet.
Well, if you put the 8 to sideways, it's an infinity symbol. So.
That's true, but again, what does that even mean, right? Like, does that have any meaning behind it in reality? Because, like, I don't know. Again, the 2 dots is the weirdest part to me. Because, like, if you look at, like, okay, objectively, it's a number 8, right? It's just an 8, like, whatever.
Yeah.
But what are those 2 dots in the top left? That's the part that, like, confuses me. Like, what are those 2 little dots?
It's got to mean something. He wouldn't have put it in there.
Exactly, yeah. It wouldn't be there if it didn't have any meaning behind it, right?
Well, maybe it's on purpose, you know? Just...
I don't know. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, what do you say, Cam? Oh, well,
I was thinking it was just yes, Padog. I was thinking it was just terrible cropping.
Really? You think it was terrible cropping? Really? Because that,
I'm not sure.
Because that would be really bad if that's what, dude. That would be so bad if that's what he
did.
Did.
Mention that though.
Like, yeah, wouldn't he have like?
Said,
I don't think he would have just.
That,
yeah, I wouldn't have just left it there because I feel like that makes the like. Okay, so I said this morning as well, but like if he was to put like this out there. And then whenever, like, whatever this is related to, like let's hypothetically say, like, they reveal Gold and Silver remakes and they announce that, like, they're going to release on the 8th of November. He can be like, oh, yeah, guys, see, I told you, it was on number 8. Oh, I knew it. I told you. This is what the 8 meant. That's ridiculous. That would be so stupid. It needs to, like, I think, like, what you said, Matt, like, it has to be a part of, like, something else. Like, I feel like this is basically what we have in front of us is the key, but we don't have the door. We don't know what a freaking door is with the key supposed to actually match. Like, and that's what we have right now, and we just have to wait until he tweets more. I just don't get.
You might
like,
drop something like every day up to Pokemon Day. You don't know. Like, it could literally just be part of a puzzle.
True, it could be like in a messed up way. I guess not a messed up way, but in some way, it could be a countdown still of sorts, right? It could still be a countdown, just in a different way. Like, it's still essentially a countdown. It just isn't what we're used to, right? Like, it's just not the way that we're used to it being. But, like, instead it's, like, riddle countdowns every single day until then. At least I hope so, because tomorrow he needs to drop something else to, like, make sense with this. Because, again, I don't get it, man. I don't know, like, I don't know what this means. Like, I am totally lost on it. But I guess I'm curious, because I guess everybody's kind of shared their thoughts on it. And I did already ask you your predictions, but, like, based on the rumors and stuff like that, because I don't know if you, like, I received some info. I might send this to you later, like, you know, in the background, whatever. But I've received some information from certain individuals. Not going to share anything because I don't want to get in trouble. That points me in a certain direction, which I'm not happy about, which probably should already tell people what it might be. But there's been something I've been told which pushes me into a certain belief of what we're going to get. Is there anything that kind of puts you in a certain direction, Matt? Like anything that, like any rumors and stuff you've seen, any information like that, like that you have that's been kind of pointing you in one certain path, or has it just, or is it mostly just guessing?
He's posted like such cryptic, like he posted that thing about the 4 regions where he had like Kanto, Johto, Unova, and Paldea. So it's like the Paldea bit that could be like the Petulant event, and then like the Unova one that could be because we're getting like a Unova game, and then the Johto and the Kanto could be, obviously they come as a pairing because you can't really have Johto without Kanto because of the post game. So that could be like something else as well. So we could be going to like all those regions this year or something like that. But then he also posted the like original soup thing, which is like a faithful remake.
Yeah.
So that could also be like, that's why it could be like Gen 2's a faithful remake we get this year, and then like Gen 5's like Black and White 3 or Legends Kyurem or something like that we get like that next year or something. So he's posted things like throughout the second half of last year, which kind of, because he also posted the thing about Drayton as well being like linked to the next game.
That's true.
And obviously he's like the Unova character, so that's why another reason I think we're getting the Unova game. But like there's also contradicting things as well, like with the anniversary and everything. So I don't know. And I mean, this 8 thing, I mean, this doesn't really have any kind of like correlation with any of the things that he's already said. So that's why I think it's part of like a bigger puzzle, because it just literally means nothing. That's
true. Because it doesn't fit with anything that we know of as of right now. But it makes me wonder though, like in terms of like, because this year is the 25th or no 20th anniversary of Gold and Silver, right?
25th of Gold and Silver this year, yeah.
Oh wait, is it the 25th of Gold and Silver or the 20th of Gold and Silver? Okay.
Yeah, because it's 30th anniversary of Pokemon in 2026.
Right. Oh yeah.
It's the 25th of Johto this year, yeah.
Okay, so 25 years of that, but it's also next year the anniversary of Black and White. So logically, wouldn't it fit better to do like a Unova style game, like kind of what we did with like, you know, Legends and BDSP, right? Like we get one thing, like we get both things announced. We get one thing now and one thing at the beginning of like the next year. You know what I mean? Like just kind of a similar like thing,
that's what I was saying. I think that we're going to get the Johto this year, and then for the 15th anniversary of Black and White, we'll get that next year. Yeah.
But see, that's the thing though. There's like a part of me that still feels like I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy with this, but I don't know if you guys any of you agree on this. But like, this is weird feeling in me that we're not going to get any new game announced. Like that we're just going to get spin-off stuff. Like, and I don't mean
and
like
the Switch just flops this year. There's like nothing.
That's true. But also like it's just like I think to myself, because I was looking over like a schedule of all the releases they've done, and like I included also releases of like spin-off games and stuff. And like I feel like where I'm sitting at right now, I feel like this year we're gonna get something not massive, but something small, and then next year it's gonna be an empty year, like nothing. Like I don't think we receive any Pokemon game in 2025. Or that's where we get the new generation. The only reason I think we're not going to get anything is because I think that's going to be exactly like that year, 2025 is going to be exactly a decade. So exactly 10 years since the last time Pokemon had a break year. Like it's going to be exactly 10 years since then, which makes me feel like that would be the time for them to kind of like take a break year and come back strong for the 30th anniversary. Because, but again, I'm super against the idea of a 30th anniversary though. Like being the reason that they would delay a year for a new gen. Like I'm totally against that. I don't know, but like, what do you guys think about that? Like, do you think that the 30th anniversary somehow in any way goes against the possibility of a game in 2025? Right? Like, because I don't think that it necessarily correlates. But maybe I'm wrong.
You know what I'm thinking?
Yep. What's up?
I'm thinking that the 30th anniversary is like what 2026, I believe.
Yeah.
Or 2020. All right, so. They love to break patterns because right now we're just assuming that 2026, like we're assuming that next year is going to be Gen 10, which it might be, and then the next year is going to be a DLC year. For all we know, they might try their best to make Gen 10 such a complete game in like that year that when 2026 comes, we're going to be completely thrown off, because I don't think they would want to waste an anniversary year on a DLC itself. And that's like three years into the future, or like 2 years into the future, which is like completely off topic from what we're talking about now. We're talking about like next week, but like I don't think that they would want to waste that year on just a DLC for like Pokemon Plus and Minus or whatever. Like, yeah, I feel like they would want to do something completely to throw everybody off, like do something completely out of the picture to be like, oh, okay, they're expecting DLC because we just gave them a new generation like the year prior. But what if we give them like something completely different, like a gen, Lord forbid, another Gen 1 game, or like something like that. You know?
God. Oh jeez. But yeah,
or like they give us X and Y remakes or Pokemon Z, and then they make that a big deal because they're like, this is the anniversary of Gen 6, and we gave you guys Megas 3D customization. We're gonna bring it all back and go all out on it, stuff like that.
Dream come true.
I mean, yeah, but for you, of course, because you fucking want it, dude.
Wake me up.
But I guess what would you guys prefer the most though? Like, and I guess Matt, because you've been around the least, because we've already spoke about these things in the past as well. But what would you want the most out of like all the options that we do have? So like, let's say out of a Gen 2 remake, Gen 5 remake, Legends game, like what is the one thing that you genuinely do want to see? Because like I think like you and me probably want a new generation more than anything, like realistically. But like but
that won't happen.
Yeah, of course not. But like out of the things that are in the realm of possibility, what do you think actually would be a possibility, or what do you think you would want to see rather yourself? Like what is it you wish for the most out of the options?
Out of the likely options, I think Legend Celebi or Black and White 3, I think I'd want to see the most. I mean, Black and White 3 also makes sense with the way that obviously Black and White 2 followed Black and White, and there's like a 2-year gap between those games or something in terms of like the story. Yeah. But then because there's been like a 15-year gap since we had like Black and White 2 next year, they did a Black and White 3, they could do it 15 years in the future. All of the Indigo Disc characters could be in it because obviously they're like in the Scarlet and Violet universe, obviously they're old enough now and stuff, so they could be like Lacey and Drayton and everyone like that. They could all be in it, and then it could just be like a future version of Unova, and it would just like be new enough for people to not have to have played like Black and White 2, because it'd be like new characters and stuff that they're used to that we've just had. But then it's still like, if you did play the original Black and White 2, like you'd still be going back to Unova, and like it'd still be like a new story as well. So it kind of best of both worlds. So I think Black and White 3 is the most likeliest, especially because Drayton's apparently linked to the next story or whatever Ridley said.
To be fair, though,
I would also love to see Legend Celebi.
They could also do, because like he did say the Drayton thing, but that doesn't necessarily confirm Unova. They could do the same thing they did in like Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, where a character shows up. Like, who is it again? It was like a character from Alola that shows up in Let's Go Peach Baby.
It was Mina from the Fairy Child Captain.
Yeah, so she shows up, I think, in like what is
Vermilion.
It? Like? Vermilion, yeah. She shows up in Vermilion City. So it could be like something like that with that. It could still be that Drayton is important, but he's not actually in Unova necessarily. Also, I don't know if you saw this, by the way, because I brought this up, I think at the beginning of the stream, that there is like, again, I don't know if you covered this, Matt, if you've covered in your own video today or your upload or whatever, if you saw it at all. But basically there was a YouTube short uploaded by the Pokemon Company, right, to announce the Pokemon Presents. And if you looked at the description of it, and they they removed it.
Wait, what?
Wait, I didn't even realize it. My brain just like I've been looking at like the screenshot of it. They removed it.
You know, it was a short.
Yeah, it is a short. I'm looking at the short. It's gone. It's not there anymore.
It's not gone.
RIP short.
It's here.
What? But where? I don't see it. Like, I'm looking at the short. I'm looking at the description. Wait, is it? Wait, are we looking at two different? Are we looking at two different ones?
I mean, you mean the short that
okay. So that's the thing. I'm looking at it from the actual shorts tab on YouTube, and then it doesn't show it, right? But okay. So for context, what we're actually talking about is the fact that the game that's being linked or the game that's being listed underneath this video, which is a YouTube short announcement for the Presents, literally is Gold and Silver. Like, it's Gold and Silver, which is really weird because, I mean, you do YouTube yourself. You know how like that, like, when you get to choose, like, if you're streaming, you get to choose, like, what game are you playing and stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, if you don't choose it yourself, but you're under... Exactly. Sometimes it picks it for you. So either this is a case of it picked it automatically, which... Man, it really decided to choose like the worst option. Like it decided to really go for like the one that was going to trigger us the most. Or they chose it themselves, or whoever is like the person like, who's uploading it may have actually even done it as like a little like, a little like wink, wink. I don't know. But it is a bit odd that it would be Gold and Silver out of all the options because the music that's playing is actually from Kanto. Like it's from Gen 1 music in the background that's played.
But because of the music though, it could be that they actually do GBA ports of like Red, Blue, and Yellow because obviously it literally uses the music from Red, Blue, and Yellow in that.
That's
like
true,
the ending credits as well.
Oh yeah. How do we feel about that? How do we feel about them doing like going down the path of porting like the original games? Like how's like where do we stand on that? Like do people want it? Do people not want it? Like how are
everybody wants it? Yeah, everybody wants it. I'm surprised they haven't done it yet because they could make so much money from it. It's actually just mad that they haven't done it yet.
They can do that with a lot of like not just like Pokemon. They can do that with a lot of Nintendo games that they just don't do, which is really bizarre if you think about it. Like I don't know why they're so like against like re-releasing their own products for whatever reason. I just don't like doing it. But
another thing,
they like Pokemon Platinum sitting at $200.
Oh yeah, that's true. But like that, but then again, that's not even them making money. It's like third-party sellers at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So what's the point? It's kind of like counterintuitive. But yeah, Suba, what were you saying?
And yet we still need to see the true dragon.
That's true.
That's
yes.
That's what I've been saying. Yeah.
I just want to bring something up in regards to Black and White. The biggest thing for me that makes me think we're not going to see Black and White, or at least not like a Black and White 3, is literally just the actual performance of the original Black and White. Like I think it's like people easily forget about it, but Black and White are like the worst selling Pokemon games or worst selling Pokemon generation I think of all time. Let me see if I can get it on the screen here so people can see it. This is like the sales chart, and I always bring this shit up, and I don't know why I'm so into casually covering Pokemon sales and shit.
Sales.
But if you look up the, let me see, I'm going to actually get a proper search for this.
Ruffle, the biggest thing about that is that
here we go.
We say that you like you say that they won't do it because of like its performance. If that were the case, like I don't think they would ignore a generation just because of its initial sales. Because if that were the case, then we wouldn't have gotten Indigo Disc taking place in a subsection of the Unova region with Unova so many Unova cameos. We wouldn't have gotten the Gen 5 evolutions in Gen 9. We wouldn't have gotten the Gen 5, the mini Gen 5 callbacks and Legends for some reason. Like
that's true. You're not wrong.
Yeah, despite the initial sales of Black and White, it's been right now, Black and White, and especially Black and White 2 are regarded as some of the best Pokemon games, because like in the moment people didn't see it, but now they love it. They love Unova. They love Black and White. And right now, like no character besides like Lily, I guess, and maybe Arvin has captured the appeal that N has. N has like so many big what is it?
You know what it is? It's the thing is, for me, it's not really about the quality of the game, but rather it's about the quality of the sales. How much money can they make off of it? And what I'm saying is this, right? Diamond and Pearl, like, okay, listen, every time it's time for the next game to be remade that's in order, people always start touting how good that game was. Like, I swear to God, as soon as we're done with whenever Black and White remakes do happen, the next thing online is going to be, Gen 6? Guys, remember how amazing X and Y was? It was so epic, guys. Oh my God, remember X and Y? Like, people are going to lose their shit right away and be excited for that. And then they're going to tout how, sure, Black and White were great games. And I know, like, objectively, storytelling-wise and everything in regards to that, some of the best games of all time. But they were also, at the time of release, the most hated things in existence. People hated Black and White on release. People despised Black and White. They did not like it, which also reflected in the sales. Now, again, them hinting at it and leaving little jabs and little, like, hey, guys, look, it's a little Easter egg all about Black and White, doesn't necessarily, like, mean that, like, oh, they hate Unova. Of course they're going to redo it at some point and revisit it, because it's still sold, around 20 million copies if you combine the sales of, the first, like, releases of Black and White and Black and White 2. Combined, they sold like 20 plus million copies still at the end of the day. Like, just looking at Black and White on its own sold 8.5 million copies, give or take. If we scroll down and find, like, where's it at? Let's find Black and White, if it's even listed on here. Black and White, 15.664 million copies, right? Still really good sales. Like, still a lot of people that played it and still loved it and stuff like that. But, like, I still think it's important to remember that, like, they're not in, like, a massive rush either to remake Black and White. Like, I just highly doubt that it's going to be a basic Black and White remake. Like, I just think it's a little, maybe not too early, but it just feels a little out of place right now. I know I know we've had all these Easter eggs and stuff in the games and the DLC. Geez, why do I keep burping all the time? Holy shit! I know we've had a lot of like stuff pointing in that direction. But, like, remember, in Black and White, I think it was in Black and White as well, when actually Black and White came out. Do you guys remember what everybody got excited about? Guys, they remade all the Gen 3 sprites. Oh my God, guys, they're going to remake Gen 3. We're going to get Gen 3 remakes. That's what everybody thought with Black and White. Everybody thought, holy shit, it's going to be Gen 3 remakes. Then it didn't happen. It happened in Generation 6. They left a bunch of stuff that kind of pointed and hinted to that, but it ended up not actually being the case. And I feel like this is kind of might be like it might be like a red herring. Like they're just kind of like they're putting it out there and they're just kind of like making us think that's what it's gonna be. But then it's like they just pull, like, the wool over our head and they're like, guess what? Haha, we tricked you. We were just, like, messing with you with that. I'm kind of worried that it's gonna be in that direction. Like, as I know people want Black and White, but I still, like, something in my heart tells me it just doesn't seem like the right time yet. I don't know why. Like, something's pushing me towards that direction. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy. I'd love to know. It could also
be the best time, though, because, like,
true, that's fair too.
If they do Gold and Silver and Unova, like, Gold and Silver are, like, some of the best-selling Pokemon games of all time. So if they do think, like, oh, Unova might not actually sell it very well, let's just pop out games we know are going to sell well, and then it will be like it'll all be good. So
that is a good point. Actually,
that is why they milk the hell out of Gen 1.
Exactly.
But yeah, Toyka, what are you gonna say?
Yeah, but I mean, it seems that in the second DLC they start cooking Unova, and it's like I feel that all that nods and hints and connections to Unova is like, okay, it seems that the next game must happen in Unova. Probably
maybe.
It's probably is like you are saying that it's this and that's all. But I mean, I think they start cooking,
I mean, they have been, listen, they have 100% been cooking when it comes to Unova stuff. But again, something feels off. It feels like it's too obvious. That's the problem. It feels too, unless that's their new approach, and unless their new approach is way too obvious, right? Maybe that is what they're going for now, making it too, like, obvious what the next thing is. Maybe that is what they're doing, but, like, it feels almost too on the nose. Like, it's too like, clear. You know what I mean? Like, it just, I don't know. That's what makes me doubt it. But yeah, I don't know. So I guess we've gone through most of our thoughts on this. I actually opened up a thingy in chat right now. There's a Q&A thing open right now, guys. So you can actually ask questions. If you click on the chat, there's a new chat option called questions. Go in there. You can ask, ask questions, and, I'll simply just read them to the rest of the guys, and we'll just answer with our thoughts and stuff. So I thought we'd go through that real quick, because we kind of already talked about our predictions and stuff. Unless there's anything else, like any more things you guys want to input. Like, Matt, do you have any thoughts that you wanted to share while you're at it? About like the presents or the Pokemon Day, anything like that you have on your mind that you thought would be worthwhile to share?
I see. Before we do that, I found an interesting comic from the Pink Artist that says that Black and White remakes would be the most depressing thing ever because it would be a repeat of the original, being a game that came too late in the console's lifespan and suffered because of it.
Oh, jeez. Oh, that would be
true,
really
though.
sad. That would be really sad.
It's definitely true.
I mean, you're not wrong, yeah, but damn, that would be really fucking sad if true.
Plus, Black and White was like, wasn't that just like a revival of the series? Like,
yes,
they just
reboot
made
of
like
sorts.
no Pokemon available until like post game and stuff. So
Correct,
maybe
yeah.
that's why also people didn't like
Which
that,
was a
because
big
it was
reason
none of
why
the
people
originals.
didn't. Yeah,
Yes.
that was a big reason why people didn't like it at the time. Was because a lot of people liked the ability to have options, which is why Black and White 2 brought back all the Pokemon.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's jeez. What a depressing thought to have, though. Like, oh yeah, great. The first time around, it got fucked in the same way, like that it might get screwed over this time. But I highly doubt that it would undersell this time around, though, because you have like way more new Pokemon fans now. That it will be willing to just give it a try for the sake of giving it a try. I mean, for the love of God, if BDSP can sell 15 million copies, I'm pretty sure Black and White remakes can do the same thing.
And get an award for it.
Yeah.
Or
like
more.
Oh my God.
the fan base now and like Pokemon as a brand now is nothing. It's like back in Black and White, the fan base back then is nothing compared to the behemoth it is now. Like if they were to release it, it'll sell regardless. Like I work at GameStop, and I had a dad walk up to me, and he was like, "Do you know about the new Pokemon? Like if there's a new game coming out?" And I was like, no, we haven't gotten anything yet, but we might get something soon because it's February. And he was like, well, my kids love it. My son especially. I'm gonna buy it regardless of if it's bad or good because it keeps my kids happy. My kids love Pokemon, and I'm just gonna like no matter what they bring out, I'm gonna like buy it regardless because like my kids are casual fans. They love it, and I love it too. My whole family loves it. Whatever it is, we're gonna get it. So. Of course, back then it was most likely that same mentality, but now it's like tenfold. Like if they were to release Black and White in the same quality, and like you said with BDSP, we like a lot of us can agree BDSP was not the game that a lot of us envisioned for Gen 4 remakes.
No,
regardless of what it was and how bad it was, it still sold a lot more than Legends, mostly because it was like 2 games.
Yeah.
But like. It sold so much, and we were expecting it to tank. And Game Freak claims that they're listening to people's opinions, so maybe they saw like the criticism, but I highly doubt that. The game sold a lot regardless.
Yeah.
Even though it was bad, it was good. It was the same for Sword and Shield. A lot of us don't like Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield sold a lot, like a lot.
I actually remember literally the thing you just mentioned. Like I had the exact same experience, dude, because I went to the store. To just like pick up the game for like for my girlfriend at the time, and like me and Eileen, like we just went there to get it for her, and she basically like she noticed how like people would just come in, grab it, and just leave. Like there's no thinking. The guy just comes in, gets it, his kid's waiting for him, gives it to the kid. They go to the cash register, and then they're out. You know what I mean? Boom. There's no like thinking because that's the thing. There's a lot of new fans, a lot of new people. There's like gotta remember, Pokemon Go shifted Pokemon so much, brought in so many people. Like I will always remember. The classic thing I will always remember is when people did not believe that Darkrai was a real Pokemon. Because it was because they were Pokemon Go players.
That was funny as fuck, dude.
Like that shit is wild to me still. But it proves a point, which is that there is a lot of new people that have no context. So like for them, Black and White doesn't hold the same like feelings that it might hold to the rest of us. Because like for me, for example, I don't have I still like Black and White. But I played Black and White 2 first. So I don't have a massive connection to the original
Same with
games.
you, Rafa. I literally played second version than the first version.
So that's the thing. Me and you might not have the same connection that other people have to the original Black and White. I don't have a connection to those. My fiance, she played Black and White, and she doesn't really like it. She didn't like it back then either. She was like, it's kind of, nah, not the best. And I will always remember that I kind of left Pokemon, and I was not as much into it. And like, I feel like you got to keep in mind like that now you have people that do have a connection, that maybe their first game was Black and White. Those people will, of course, want to buy this no matter what. And then you have all these new people as well who are brand new who will buy it no matter what just because they're Pokemon fans. They like everything Pokemon and they don't care.
I have a friend who bought BDSP. Even like at the time, he was like, now he's like, oh yeah, I hate the game. Like I think it was awful. But when in a moment, I was like, yo, I don't think this game is going to be good. And he was like, I grew up with Gen 4. I really want to experience this game again in a new style, even if it is bad. Like he was like, even if it, because he didn't play at the time, he was like, even if it is bad, it's Gen 4. I love Gen 4. This is the generation that got me into the series. I'm going to play it regardless. And it'll be that same sentiment with Gen 5. Even if the new game, if it is a Gen 5 game, even if it is bad, I'm going to be shameless about it. I love Gen 5. It's I love Unova, my favorite generation. If the game is bad, I'm going to buy it anyways because A, I'm a Game Freak shill. B, it's Unova. It's the game I love the most. I'm gonna buy it regardless. Yeah. I might get both versions.
That's only natural.
I'm that obsessed with it.
Like that's the thing. Like at the end of the day, us who spend time complaining and talking about this all the time, we are like the 0.00001% of the Pokemon fan base. Like we cover such a small, such a tiny insignificant speck of the community. That us complaining or whatever, this and that, like, oh, they should not do this, they should do this, blah, 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 et cetera, doesn't really matter because the average Joe is going to buy it no matter what, right? Like, That's just the reality of it. Like, no matter what way you twist it. But I just want to go through some of these viewer questions real quick because I got to get going in a bit as well. So just want to get through some of these before we get going. But let's see. So what do we have in here, guys? Some people asking some stuff. What do you guys think is the probability of a new Mystery Dungeon remake or a remake of one of the games from Michael? What do we think about Mystery Dungeon?
I'm praying.
Please.
I want a new one.
Mystery Dungeon remake.
Because that's the thing. I don't think we're going to get a Mystery Dungeon game this year. I think we're going to get a Mystery Dungeon game next year. And the reason I say that is because when I looked up the release time frame of Mystery Dungeon games, it was about every 5 years that a new game comes out. Because the last one was in 2020. The one before that was in 20. I think it was. Let me think. So it's either 20. I think it was
2015.
Sorry, it was 2015, right?
It was 2015.
Yeah. So it's about 5 years, distance between these games. I think next year would be like the time for it to happen. Another Mystery Dungeon game. Maybe I'm off the base here, but that's at least what I think. I don't know. What do you guys think? Mystery Dungeon?
Didn't they trademark something or something?
They did. You're right.
Everybody thought we were going to get one. Something happened.
Yeah, you're right. They did.
They did that last year.
That's why I've been saying Explorers DX will happen. That's what I've been saying for the last, I think, 4 months now.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, you're all about that shit, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's my favorite fucking game of all time. Like, not even Pokemon related. It's my favorite video game of all time.
Oh my lord. But yeah, no. I guess Mystery Dungeon. I don't know about this year. Maybe next year. I wouldn't mind it this year. It'd be sick. I'll be happy with it.
Either way.
Trust me.
Yeah.
If what Ku said is true, and if we're gonna go and like empty, like we're gonna get this game, it's gonna be super cool. We're gonna be super hyped about it. It's gonna be radio silent until like late summer, early fall. We're gonna need something to hold us over.
True.
Please, Mystery Dungeon.
That's 100% true, dude. Because man, we have like, and that's another thing we spoke about earlier. But and Matt, like you and me are gonna suffer with this the most, more than anyone, is the fact that like I don't know if you saw that tweet. I'm gonna show it on the screen again, but it's from Riddler Ku, where he basically replied to someone. Let me see if I can find it again real quick. I just don't know where it is. Give me a second. I'm gonna just find the tweet. But it was basically like a tweet where he replied to someone asking like something along the lines of what was it again? Like, oh, when will you start doing the riddles again? And I think his reply was something along the lines of like, oh, once after Sudachi, they should announce it in February, but then there will be nothing until like summer or like middle of the year, which pretty much
like his source.
Yeah. Oh yeah, probably. True. But he said he won't give any riddles either himself until like middle of the year, which pretty much also like I guess means that we're gonna be stuck in the same fucking loop that we had with the DLC and the same thing we dealt with Scarlet and Violet as well, which is a dry run of news, right? Like we're not going to see shit for like months. You know what I mean? Like months on end again. So I don't know, man. I'm very terrified about that from a content creation standpoint, because that shit is not fun whatsoever. But let's see. So we have some other questions. Let me see. Pokemon Conquest is the best spin-off ever made. Need to give it a sequel. What do we feel about that?
Yeah, I mean it is, but like it's not going to happen.
No. Somebody also asked about what about Pokken Tournament? Do we think there's going to be a new Pokken Tournament?
Nah.
Possible, but highly unlikely.
Yeah,
I think it's unlikely.
No,
I see
seems
that
unlikely.
for the next generation, not this
No,
one.
I don't even think they're going to do one in general, because it never really did that well, did it? I think the Pokken Tournament, like, what was it called? Like, was it called DX as well, or like there was like the version that was released for the Switch? I think that one sold about 1 million copies or so, give or take. Like, it didn't sell incredibly well either. So I don't think that's going to happen much likely either. Let me see if there's any other questions here.
But before we continue, I saw a super interesting comment that I want to like bring up. Cameron Studley, they mentioned that in Ku's riddle, the eight, and that like clock setting is a fusion of both the number 2 and 5 put together.
Oh yeah, that's we mentioned that already. That was what I told. That's like I made a whole tweet about that earlier this morning. But the problem is that 8 can be made into any number. Like you can use it to make the number 7. You can you can literally make the number 1 and 3 as well. Like you can make any numbers.
The entire fucking thing.
Yeah.
Someone said that you can even write Ilka.
Oh yeah, I guess you could. Yeah. Oh my lord. No, but yeah, like I don't think that necessarily. I thought at first it could be the case, but I don't know if it really holds any value, to be honest. Like I don't really know if it actually.
I mean, this riddle must be something that in the next tweet. I mean, it's going to quote retweet this, and probably it's going to split this 8 in a 2, in a 5, and that's all, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, we
like that.
It's like at the end of the day, we have 7 days. We just have to count down. I mean, today is pretty much over, anyways. So it's not like we have an incredibly long time left before we will know what everything's going to be. I'm just again curious what his tweet will be tomorrow, then, right? Because I'm pretty sure he's going to tweet again tomorrow. I'm just curious what it's going to be.
But remember the Hydra case with the 7, with the 7 head, 6, 5, and then finally was nothing. Was only that.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I mean,
yes,
I mean, yes, could be something very important, or to even probably he's trolling, you know, because
that's
he trolled with that, because he said that this Hydra, the Hydrapple, will appear each head one by one, and finally it didn't happen. It just was the riddle was that the Hydra is going to have 7 heads, you know, but well, we'll see tomorrow.
But also, that's the thing. I don't think he should be fucking around too much, because he'll lose people's trust if he keeps like, you know, like that's the thing. He can joke and troll a little bit.
He trolls a tiny bit, but never enough to make people doubt his credibility.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know.
He takes that very seriously. He's shown that like once before, especially even calling out fake leakers. Like, he doesn't really play about lies.
Well, we'll see, man. But ladies and gentlemen, we've been going for 2 hours strong. I think it's about time we call this a quit, because I got to go eat food. Dinner's ready, so I got to get going. But yeah, so I want to just... bro, it's been 9 hours, dude. But yeah, it's time for me to get going. And also, I want to thank you guys all for watching, and you guys for joining, by the way. Also, HTV, thank you so much for joining us today, man.
Thanks,
dude. I'd love to have you on again next time, but like, you know, when like maybe we'll do like a bit later, like around this time, so you can join us, you know, a little bit earlier from the start. But yeah, dude, thank you for joining in, man. Still, like, the fact that you even wanted to hop on is appreciated. I got a lot of messages today, like, hey, man, get HTV, and I was like, fucking random, but okay, sure, I'll ask him.
There's also people in the chat who thought that you and Waffle are actually enemies or something.
Nah.
It was funny to read.
Nah, we used to be, but not anymore. No, we good. But no, dude, thank you so much for hopping on, dude. I'd love to like just, you know, have you on like often, to be honest. Like, it's just nice to have more people to talk to. Especially bouncing off IDs and thoughts and stuff like that, because sometimes I feel like one person forgets one thing that was mentioned, another person does remember it. Because like you brought up like something earlier that I totally had flatlined on, like in my brain. Like I was like, holy shit, I forgot that was even a thing. which is a nice way to kind of keep track of things. Because then everybody can share their thoughts and opinions. But yeah, it was nice to have you on, man. And same thing for the rest of you guys. Lads, of course, if you're watching in chat, go check them all out. You guys know where to find them. HTV on YouTube and Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. Camtendo on YouTube and Twitter as well. Light can be also found on YouTube and Twitter. Definitely making some awesome little theories on there, so go check him out. Of course, Subarashi, as per usual, is on Twitter, where you can find him, where he makes his awesome artworks. And Toyoko started a brand new channel. Go give him some love, lads. Give Toyoko some love, because he only just recently started, but he's doing great for himself. But that's going to be it, lads. Thank you all for watching today. We'll be back at it again. I guess we'll be live streaming for the actual Pokemon Presents, because it's literally next week. So yeah, damn, it's going to be an interesting time. Dude, it's going to be intense, man. But yeah, we're all excited. Thank you guys for joining, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good one.
Goodbye, guys.